You're welcome. We are live. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Thanks for joining everyone that's watching. I'll start by saying to whoever's watching already, there's no quiz tonight, just up front. It's just going to be a casual chat, reading comments, having a chat about things and that sort of thing. I thought it'd be nice to have a break from doing quizzes because we've done them back to back for a few weeks now, and hopefully next week or the week after we'll have the winners quiz of everyone that's won the quiz so far. So 2 of you guys on here already, be going head to head. But that should be fun. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask everyone else to think of questions as well, other than obviously the winners, to make it harder. So it's not just me asking giving the questions.
I used to do film quizzes with my friends.
They are fun. I do enjoy. I've never actually been like a player in one. Like obviously I've only just done this, but I know, I can imagine they're quite fun. Like the last 2 places I've worked, they've always said if there's ever like a film quiz, you're coming. Like you don't get to say no, because the last places I've worked, I've been the person that's loved the films the most. Which is always quite nice because then you get to talk to others and like tell others about films they might not know of, and it's quite nice doing that. Oh, we got first comment from Ash. Hello, Ash. Evening, Ash.
Hello, buddy. Hiya.
Just knocking off work. Have a great stream. Thanks for popping by, Ash. Hope you're well.
Thanks, bud.
So, what's everyone been up to over the weekend, the Easter weekend? Anything nice?
I worked Saturday. I was off yesterday and worked today. What did I do yesterday? I didn't do much at all yesterday.
I saw my brother yesterday, Ollie. Had to catch up with my brother. That was nice.
Yeah, nice. Well, I hope my lighting's good as well, because I've just I've got new lights in my room. I know, like the previous streams, I've like not been visible at all, like because of the glare. So I hope there's not as much of a glare as they used to now, because I've changed the light, so it should be a lot brighter in my room now. We got James. Hello, James. How are you?
Hello.
Hey, James.
What's everyone been watching the last few days, and if anyone's watched anything? Do you want to go first, Andy?
Yeah, sure. Today I watched Pretty in Pink and Some Kind of Wonderful. Today.
Oh, great movies.
Yeah.
I absolutely love John Hughes, and he's one of the best writers. Well, particularly to come out of the 80s. I watched them. Yesterday, I did a 5-movie marathon. I watched Superman 1 to 4 and Supergirl. I'd never done that before in one day. I actually enjoyed all of them, to be honest. I know Superman 3 onwards and Supergirl aren't the greatest movies, but I had fun with them. I'm trying to think what else I've watched this week. I watched License to Kill with Nige. Wasn't a fan of it, but it's my favourite James Bond movie of all time. Love that. I've started watching Night at the Roxbury. I've seen it loads of times before, but one of my favourite Will Ferrell movies. Yeah, that's roughly about it.
Nice. Some nice watches there. What about you, Pete?
I have been on a rom-com kick all week. Apart from, I watched Cisu, which was amazing. It was bonkers, violent, World War II, John Wick style action, which was mental. But other than that, everything else I've watched has been a rom-com. I've literally been updating my letterbox now. I watched this one's not necessarily a rom-com, but I watched The Internship with Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson, which it's okay. It's not amazing. It's about 2 middle-aged guys who get a job as interns at Google. It's great, basically just one big advert for Google. Then I watched The Proposal, which is probably one of the best rom-coms of the early 2000s.
Okay.
I watched a film called The First Time with Dylan O'Brien and Britt Robertson, which was really good. It was felt more like an indie movie, like, you know, the Before Sunset and Before Sunrise type of films,
Okay.
but more teen-centered. I watched Two Night Stand with Miles Teller. That's all right. That's not a bad one. No Strings Attached, Friends with Benefits, and The Long Shot. The Long Shot is a film that shouldn't work because it's Seth Rogen and Charlize Theron, but they have really, really insanely good chemistry. So that works there. And then last night I watched Barely Lethal, which is crap.
Oh, I've seen that. It's awful.
Yes. And that's everything I've watched this week.
Nice lot of watches there. I like The Proposal as well. I just love Betty White in that. I think she steals every scene she's in. She's excellent.
Amazing in it.
Yeah.
I can pretty much watch anything Sandra Bullock's in, though. So
yeah, I'm the same. She's one of my favorites. I think she has been in, like, I know a lot of people don't like All About Steve, and it isn't a particularly great film. But I still find it funny.
Yeah.
Like, it's like stupid funny.
Yeah.
But even the second Miss Congeniality film, it's not as good as the first, but there's still some laughs in it.
Yeah. Like, I watched No Strings Attached and Friends with Benefits, which both came out around the same time.
Yeah.
And I used to really like No Strings Attached. I mean, I still like it, but when I rewatched it, Natalie Portman and
Ashton Kutcher,
that's the one. There's nothing. There's no chemistry there.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
He's not great, is he?
Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis is like chalk and cheese compared. It's insane. But No Strings Attached does have funny moments, but Friends with Benefits, I think, is the better film of those two.
It's weird, isn't it, though? Because you'd think that with it being directed, No Strings Attached being directed by Ivan Reitman, you'd think like you're in for like a great film, but
it was an odd film for Natalie Portman to make.
Yeah.
At that time, if you know what I mean. 2011.
That was Thor. That was Thor time, wasn't it? When the first Thor came out.
Yeah, it would have been. It would have been just before Black Swan, I think it was.
Yeah.
I'm not 100%, but it seemed like an odd film for her to choose.
Yeah, but, definitely.
I mean, it's okay. It's okay. It's not amazing, but it's okay. There's funny moments in it.
Yeah, I think I've seen that more recently than I've seen Friends with Benefits. But if I was to choose between the two, I probably would go with Friends with Benefits because I remember that being just a bit funnier than No Strings Attached.
Friends with Benefits works because it's from the same guy that did Easy A.
Yeah, Will Gluck.
It has that same sense of humor.
Yeah. He did Anyone But You as well, didn't he, I think?
Yes.
That was Will Gluck.
Yes.
Yeah. That was that. I quite like that as well. That's not got a Blu-ray over here.
That's the Sydney Sweeney one. With
Glenn Powell. Yeah.
Glenn Powell, yeah. That's the most recent one.
Yeah, quite like that one. Yeah.
Oh, so Black Swan was 2010. And she'd won the Oscar.
So she was coming off of that, and then she went into No Strings Attached and Thor. Yeah.
I suppose No Strings Attached was probably a lot more of an easier shoot than
Black's. Oh yeah, Black's coming off of Black Swan. Yeah, I think she probably just wanted to do something quite light.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't blame her. But yeah, Black Swan's one of those films I've only seen it the once. I don't know if I'd ever go back to it again. It's a very good film. Like on a technical level, just what it does is a very good film. But I don't know if I'd sit down and watch it again.
I'm like that with pretty much every Darren Aronofsky film. Like I'll watch it and then I'll just apart from the Noah, which
Noah's decent. Yeah,
as a non-religious person, I watched it as a post-apocalyptic fantasy film instead of a Bible movie, and it kind of works that way. But yeah, Darren Aronofsky, Black Swan, Mother, I thought was crap.
Yeah, I've not seen that yet. The
What
Whale
else?
was good. The Whale was really good.
I haven't seen The Whale, but I watched The
Oh.
Fountain, and that didn't make much sense.
Yeah, I've got that. I've still not seen it. I think I put watched the first 5 minutes and I didn't know what was going on, so I just switched it off and I haven't gone back to it.
I don't think Aronofsky will top Requiem for a Dream.
Oh, that's a film.
As a film.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
fantastic.
think that's going to be
Right.
his, like, that's his masterpiece.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a new one coming out in August, though, hasn't he, with Austin Butler, that Caught Stealing. That's had like good feedback because it was shown at CinemaCon 2 weeks ago.
Right.
It's being described, from what I've heard of people say, it's more mainstream. It's the most mainstream Aronofsky film. I think it's set in the 90s in New York, and it's like a mix of like action, comedy, thriller. It's like, I think he like plays like a punk or something, and Matt Smith's in it, and he's got like a mohawk, and I think Vincent D'Onofrio plays like a rabbi, just like machine guns and stuff. Yeah, I think that could be quite good.
He kind of, Darren Aronofsky kind of reminds me of Steven Soderbergh in a way. Like they'll do,
like jump.
Yeah, they'll do these really kind of intense, smaller, like indie type of movies with. And then they'll do like these bigger things, like Steven Soderbergh will do Ocean's 11 off the back of something like Traffic, and then he'll make a film where he shoots it entirely on an iPhone, and then he'll do another big like studio picture.
Yeah, interesting. I think that Steven Soderbergh's next film is going to be quite interesting because it's got a weird cast. I think it's called The Christophers, but it's got Ian McKellen and then James Corden and that Jessica Gunning who was in Baby Reindeer. I don't know too much of what it's about. I think it's like a black comedy, but I think it's already been shot, so I'd imagine that'll be next year sometime. But he always seems like Soderbergh always seems to have one ready to go when one's coming out. So obviously he's already had 2 come out this year, and he's already got another one waiting to come out. It's like Guy Ritchie as well at the moment. He's like got so many films waiting to come out that have already been done.
It's from the writer of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Ed Solomon. I looked at it and I was like, I know that name. Why do I know that name? And yeah, he wrote Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Bogus Journey, Mum and Dad Save the World, which is not a great movie, the Super Mario Brothers movie, Men in Black, Charlie's Angels, The In-Laws, Imagine That, which again, that's not a good film. Now You See Me 1 and 2. And yeah, I mean,
very mixed.
It is. You got some big ones. You got some not so good ones.
Yeah.
But it could be interesting to see. I mean, it's got a decent cast in it. Follows the strange children of a famous artist as they hire a forger to complete his unfinished work so they can be discovered and sold after his death. That's actually quite a good idea.
Yeah. It's just, I'm thinking Ian McKellen, I think I said on the last live stream, he's going to be so busy the next few years because he's done that. He's now gone from that straight into Doomsday. He'll
probably only have a very, very minor role.
Yeah, probably. And then he may, it depends, obviously, the outcome of Doomsday, but he then may be in Secret Wars. And then, but then again, I don't know how quick scheduling, cause they're going to go straight into the Lord of the Rings in the new year, I think, next year. So,
well, he's on IMDb. His only upcoming films are The Christophers, Schadenfreude, which is in post-production, and Doomsday, which is currently in production.
Yeah.
Schadenfreude is a comedy crime mystery.
It's weird because they've not technically officially announced the next Lord of the Rings film. Like they've said Andy Serkis is going to direct it, but outside of that, they've not. The Ian McKellen said that if he's alive, he'll be in it, but he's not said that he's actually in it. But you would think if it's a Lord of the Rings film, it's supposed to be set, obviously. I think it's between the first film and the Hobbit films. So you would think that he would be in it.
Well, they're just making up stories now, then, so they're not basing it on anything from Tolkien. They're just making it up.
Who's writing it? That'd be it. I think it'd be down to who writes it. I don't think outside of that, because if it's a good writer, that's all it's down to, really. Who's writing the script? Because if it's not based on anything, you've got to have a good script, really.
Well, is Peter Jackson involved in it?
I think he's a producer on it.
Director, upcoming, Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum.
Yeah, that's the one. They're supposed to be doing 3 again. But I don't know if they'll do them back to back.
Follows a portrayal of the character in the original trilogy that will explore Gollum's unfinished business. Directed by Andy Serkis, starring Andy Serkis, written by Philippa Boynes, which is one of the writers of the original Lord of the Rings, along with Fran Walsh, who is Peter Jackson's wife.
Promising.
And Peter Jackson is a producer.
Yeah, promising. Then it could be good, as long as they don't go down the Hobbit route, which obviously didn't work.
I think that's New Line and Warner Brothers milking it.
Yeah.
If it's not them doing it and it's being done through Amazon, but via like MGM or Skydance, if they still own Skydance, I'm not 100% sure they do, then it's just milking a franchise for...
I think it's Warner Brothers that's doing it, I think. Because they obviously they did the animated one, didn't they, that came out at Christmas?
Wasn't that Netflix, though?
No, that came out in cinemas, I think, because that's just been released on 4K. But be interested. I'd like... because the original Lord of the Rings trilogy are 3 of my favourite films ever. So as much as I'd like to see more stories within that world with the same characters, the same actors playing those characters, you've got the big worry that if they mess it up, then, I mean, obviously it's not going to ruin the original trilogy, but you're then going to have that one extra film that's just a stain on the original trilogy.
The biggest problem is if it's set between The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, then it's technically a prequel. And I know, obviously, with like deepfakes and de-aging and stuff like that, almost all the cast are 20
years older. I did read they've got this new technology that they're developing for it to de-age them. I mean, Ian McKellen's all right. You don't really need to de-age Ian McKellen because
like a beard on him.
He looks the same. But if you're going to get like... I mean, I don't know would they get Elijah Wood back? I don't think that would make any sense, would it? Like Viggo Mortensen, definitely, I think would come back, and Orlando Bloom, I think would definitely come back.
I don't think Viggo Mortensen would.
You don't?
No, because he's so steeped in doing like independent art house.
Yeah, true.
Doing stuff in Spain and across Europe that I don't think he would, and it would be a lot to sign up for, especially if it's 3 movies. Orlando Bloom probably would, because his career has basically gone nowhere since. It would be pointless having Elijah Wood because he's introduced in Lord of the Rings. They would have to have Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
But it would, I don't know, they'd have to age him and kind of mix his face with Ian Holm, I guess.
Which might not work.
Because I mean, Alien. What was the last?
Romulus, yeah.
Romulus, yeah. I mean, the CGI on his face and that was not good.
Yeah.
Anyway, all I'm doing is talking. Come on, everyone else talk.
What are your guys' thoughts on the Lord of the Rings film?
The original trilogy, Ollie.
No, having another one on top
Oh,
of the
having
original
another one could be sort of like it could be really intriguing. Could like put the whole Middle Earth vision to a whole new light after many years.
Nice. Andy?
I just think they're just milking it dry now.
Yeah.
So,
as they do with every IP they've got.
Yeah, if something's successful, they're gonna just run it to get every last drop they can out of it. They didn't need to make the Hobbit films 3 movies, but it is what it is. They've done it. I mean, those movies are good. They're just not as good as the Lord of the Rings ones.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, it's just the story's done. It's told. We've had it. We've got it. We can go back to it when we want to. Just I don't know what else they could tell.
Yeah, and I mean, what has Peter Jackson actually done since The Hobbit? Nothing really. Just produced a lot of stuff, hasn't he? He's not directed anything.
He did that World War One film where he put colour in the footage. I think
he do the Beatles documentary as well.
Oh yeah,
so he's just done documentary. He's not done like a proper big feature film since The Hobbit. I think he produced that Mortal Engines, didn't he? Which wasn't very good.
I didn't mind Mortal Engines. I thought it was all right.
It's not like awful, but it's just one of those films.
It's watchable, but it's not memorable.
Yeah. And it's like one of those films that they obviously expected it to become a franchise, and because it just flopped and nobody watched it, it's just disappeared, kind of.
Was it every young adult fantasy movie at the time was just trying to beat the Hunger Games and failing?
Exactly, yeah. But I
want Peter Jackson to go back to his pre-Lord of the Rings style films. Another Brain Dead or Bad Taste or The Frighteners, something like that's how I knew him, like Peter Jackson, from his gore movies, not from the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, see, I've not seen any of those. Like outside of the Lord of the Rings, the only films I've seen of him is obviously The Lovely Bones, which I quite liked, and I have seen King Kong, but not for a very long time, and I remember it being really long.
Yeah,
Heavenly Creatures is very much worth checking out if you can find it.
I've heard that's Kate Winslet's first film, wasn't it?
Kate Winslet and Melanie Linsky. He did do a film called Forgotten Silver, which was a sort of prank documentary about hidden gold in New Zealand, which is quite funny. But the first 4 films I think he did, it was Bad Taste, Meet the Feebles, Brain Dead, and The Frighteners, or the first 5, including Heavenly Creatures. Probably like my personal favorite. I gotta say, I'm not a massive fan of Lord of the Rings. I saw them when they came out, but they weren't. I'm not a huge fantasy type of person. I'm more of a sci-fi fantasy. So like Star Wars compared to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, fair enough. Sam, what have you been watching the last few days?
I watched excuse me. I watched Stormy Monday for the first time, which I really didn't like it, Ollie, to be honest. I was so disappointed. The cast was great. It was great to see another film with the Newcastle setting, but the film itself was just very dry, in my opinion. Just didn't do much for me, unfortunately. But who knows, I might return to it in like a few years and might change my opinion on it. I did rewatch the Likely Lads film today, which is great. I love that film. The TV show's brilliant as well. I watched Carry On Your Convenience for the first time, which I thought was very good fun. Doctor Who, awesome. Really enjoying this new season so far. And what else did I watch, Ollie? Oh, I rewatched The Wedding Singer. I love that film. Probably I might have even preferred it on rewatch compared to maybe the few times I've seen it. And yeah, it was great to watch that on Blu-ray. The soundtrack, I forgot how amazing that soundtrack is as well. It's just such a fun film. And I rewatched Liar Liar with Jim Carrey, which I love that film as well. It's just made me want to go back and revisit the likes of The Mask and Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. Funny enough, though, Ollie, I've never seen When Nature Calls, though. I've seen Pet Detective, but not When Nature Calls, so that'll be a fun first-time watch. Yeah, I went to go and see Fargo at the cinema. Unbelievable on the big screen, man. It was great to see that at the cinema. And it's one of my favourite Coen Brothers films. So, yeah, those are some of my latest watches, Ollie.
Nice. I said to you, Sam, but I think that last episode of Doctor Who might be my favourite that he's done so far.
It's one of my favourites, mate, with
I
Judy
think
Gatwa,
the
definitely.
story it felt like a David Tennant story, like something that David Tennant would have, or like back then. It felt like, even to the opening, like just felt like something you would see from back then. And then on top of that, I just loved that whole fourth wall breaking scene. I just thought that was so clever and just so well done. It does make you think a bit as well.
Do you know what I love as well? What Doctor Who always does sometimes, in like most of the time with their seasons, they've got like a concept and it keeps teasing towards the end of each episode, and I'm already getting the impression that's going to happen with the subsequent episodes. Not really spoiler to say about the whole thing about Mrs. Flood, which I think's going to tease towards the finale, I'm assuming. So it's going to be very intriguing what the setup is with her character. But yeah, I think the vision wise, it's been great. I'm loving like the visual side. You could tell there's been a lot of money put into this with Disney and that. And the next episode looks like it's going to be similar to the it's that Peter Capaldi episode, Ollie. Is it Oxygen, I think? It looks quite similar to that one, so I'm going to be intrigued with that.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, should be good. And Liar Liar is just, it's probably my favourite Jim Carrey comedy.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, I think I'm not a huge fan. I don't like The Mask, and I wasn't huge on Ace Ventura, especially the second one.
Yeah.
Quite like Dumb and Dumber though.
Oh, same. I like that one.
I much prefer when he does dramatic stuff.
Same.
I love The Truman Show, The Majestic, Eternal Sunshine. All of those are like some of my favourite films. So I much prefer when he goes down that route as opposed to like stupid comedy. Not to say like a lot of them work for me still. Like, I know you've seen it recently. Yes, Man, that really works for me as well. I quite like that.
Yeah, it's great, that film.
Yeah, I think a lot of these, like Adam Sandler's the same. I think he works better as a dramatic actor than a comedic actor. He puts in better performances.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Ollie. I was really impressed. Roy really enjoyed Reign Over Me, by the way. It was, good to see, because I think he bought the Blu-ray of that on my recommendation. And that's definitely one of my favourite Adam Sandler films. Going back to Jim Carrey, Ollie, have you seen the film Man on the Moon? Because that's one I need to check out.
Yeah, I completely forget about that. Yeah, Andy Kaufman. Yeah, that's really good. What a weird guy. Like, you still, it makes you don't really know what happened to him because he was that type of person. You don't know if he just disappeared or if he actually did die. It's a really interesting story because obviously he was around at the start of Saturday Night Live as well. So, and he was in that sitcom Taxi, and yeah, really interesting story. And Jim Carrey, played him really well, I think. Have any of you guys seen that one?
I've not seen that one yet, Ollie.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. What did you think of it?
I really like it because I'm a big fan of Andy Kaufman as well. So I think the problem with Jim Carrey in that film is that he went too method.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
And there's because with Andy Kaufman, there was this whole thing with there was Andy Kaufman, and then there was what's his name? Tony.
Oh yeah, it's alter ego. Yeah, when he dressed up.
The alter ego. But there was another person also playing the Tony character while Andy Kaufman was on stage, but most of the time it was Andy Kaufman, and they did the whole same thing while making the movie. But Jim Carrey would always be in character throughout the entire thing. There's a documentary about it, which was made 2018, 2019 by Netflix.
I think I remember that.
Of that
yeah.
film. But as a biopic, I think it's a really, really, really good biopic. But I'm a fan of Jim Carrey in stupid movies.
Yeah.
Like Fun with Dick and Jane and...
Yeah, I quite like that one.
And yeah, those are the type of Jim Carrey films that I prefer. I mean, I like a couple of the... like, The Truman Show is good, and The Majestic is a fantastic movie. But he made... Was it number 23, which was crap?
Yeah, I've not seen that one.
He made another thriller as well a couple of years ago, but I can't remember what it was.
Dark Crimes.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't very good either. But yeah, he sort of retired and then came back for Sonic.
Yeah. I hope he comes back. Yeah, I hope he comes. I hope that he does more than just Sonic, because obviously that is all he's done for like the last 5 years. So I hope that he does go back and do some good comedies. But you never know with Jim Carrey. He might that might be it for him now. He's done 3 Sonic films. He could be, because the way, well, I'm not going to spoil anything, but the way the third one tied up the end, I don't see a way he would come back. But then again, you could say that at the end of the first and the second one as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Andy, what's your thoughts?
I absolutely love Man on the Moon. I remember seeing adverts for it on TV when I was younger, and the first time that I actually sort of got to see some of it was I was on holiday and they were playing it at the bar, but they didn't have any sound on. So it was like I was watching the second half of the movie and there was just no sound. So I was just like, okay, well, when I get home, I've got to rent this film. So I put it on, watched it, and I was like, yeah, that was really good. Because I didn't really know much about Andy Kaufman. My parents did, but then they were telling me about him when we were watching the film. But I just fell in love with it. I just think it's a cracking film. Absolutely, really, really enjoy it. But yeah, like you guys, I was one of them who grew up with Jim Carrey. Like, I idolized him. I loved his brand of comedy. Just loved him. Although it took me a while, I'm a massive defender of The Cable Guy. I just love that film. I just think it's fantastic. I just think it came out at the wrong time. It just missed its audience. But even Batman Forever was like, you know, I've got nostalgia for that, and
I love that film as well, Andy.
Yeah. That was just Warner Brothers, I think, just capitalizing on his success at the time, and he was just the hot shit at the time. But yeah, Ace Ventura, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, all of that. That was just staple of my growing up. Well, Man on the Moon again is like, you know, a good serious turn, but he did go. I agree, he went too far.
Yeah. Dumb and Dumberer has one of the best long play gags I've ever seen in a movie, where Lloyd is in the hospital, just completely catatonic, and Harry goes to see him every single day. And he's just faked it for 20 years just to prank him. It's genius.
Yeah, with the catheter as well.
With the catheter.
Yeah, I know a lot of people complain about the sequel, but it has got its funny moments. It is quite funny.
Yeah. I really want to check out as well, Ollie. I think the Blu-ray is astronomical now, but I want to get I want to check out the film at some point. Is it Me, Myself and Irene? That's another one of the Jim Carrey films I need to watch, definitely.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I've not seen that one yet.
I don't think it'll be made today, but yeah, it's exceptional.
Yeah, it's the one that Farley Brothers followed up from There's Something About Mary, I think it was.
Yeah. Lots of films of his I still need to watch. The one that I didn't get on with, which I can't remember. Did I send it to you, Sam? Was it I Love You, Philip Morris? Did I send that one to you?
I think you did, mate. Yeah, I quite liked that one. I can see where you're coming from, Ollie. It's a good film, but for me, doesn't have much rewatchability for me. There's probably
Yeah.
other Jim Carrey movies I'm going to come back to a bit more, but I quite enjoyed it because it came out similar time to Yes Man, didn't it? I think the year after
Year
Yes Man,
after.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Were you not a fan of that one, did you say, Ollie?
Yeah, a bit like you. I don't think it had much rewatchability up to his other films. It was all right, but it's not one that I would go back to again, I don't think.
Yeah, I get that,
I
definitely.
think that's the issue with there being so many films. There are going to be films that you think were all right, but you just aren't going to go back to them again. And I think that definitely falls into that category for me. Nothing wrong with it, just not one that I'd rewatch again.
Yeah,
Is that the
totally.
one with Ewan McGregor?
That's
Yeah,
it, mate,
where
yeah.
they,
Yeah.
like they've
I
become
vaguely
gay
remember it coming
cellmates or
out.
something.
Don't
Yeah,
think I've seen it though.
yeah. Andy, have you seen that one?
Yeah. There was. I remember watching it, and there's a scene in it where you think he's sleeping with his wife, and he's not, and that's all I'll say at the start. Which kind of shocked me a bit because I didn't expect to see it, but I was like, okay, yeah, that's fair enough. But yeah, I did like it. I did think it was all right. It came out when he was trying these like really different things with movies. Like he was doing Yes Man, he was doing I Love You, Philip, Mr. Popper's Penguins. He was just doing like really like different stuff. But yeah, I just think I Love You, Philip Morris. It's quite the humor in it's quite dark as well. The way it like
Yeah,
when
definitely black comedy.
yeah, when he like touches on like with his there's like a scene where he like gets reunited with his parents and it's quite mean spirited, but yeah, it was an all right film from what I remember.
Yeah, nice. Giz is here. Hello, Giz.
Hello.
James says, I like Superman 3. The cyborg scene used to terrify me.
Yeah.
I've only seen the original one and Superman Returns, but I need to watch 2, 3, and 4. Although I've heard you might as well just skip 4. But yeah,
I suppose if you're watching 3, you probably should watch 4.
might as well.
They're
Yeah,
probably just as bad as each other. The problem with
Are they?
Superman 4 is that I think it was the first one that was produced by Canon,
right.
and Canon completely dropped the budget for production on it, which is why the flying scenes look horrendous. The plot is stupid, and it has a villain that doesn't work in the shade. It's not a good film, which doesn't make sense. I mean, he's powered by the sun, yet on the moon he can fight, no problem. It's just not very good. Superman 3 is okay. It's probably made better with the fact that Richard Pryor is in it.
Okay.
But the villain it's your typical Robert Vaughn villain. If you've seen a film where Robert Vaughn plays a villain, like Basketball or just any low budget 90s thriller that went straight to DVD or straight to video, then yeah, it's okay. It's not amazing, but it's made better with the fact that Richard Pryor's in it.
Yeah. Cool. Sam and Andy, got thoughts?
I've only seen the original Superman, Ollie. I've heard Superman 2 is meant to be like one of the best superhero sequels, I want to say, and I definitely want to check it out at some point. Possibly, maybe it's the Donna cut. I think it's the the definitive version of that movie. I've heard, but I've not seen 3 or 4. I've seen Superman Returns, which that's definitely a one-time watch for me. That one, not really got much desire to go back to that one. I always love that scene where because Patrick Stewart, I think, is narrating about the movie in Ted, and his reaction to that, it's so funny. And yeah, but no, I've only seen the original Superman. I might even try and check out the sequels and the run up to this new one and stuff. Oh, and I have seen Man of Steel. That was not bad.
Yeah. Andy?
Superman. Oh, sorry, go on.
I really like the ones with Christopher Reeve. I've got to be honest. 2 was always my favorite growing up. I used to rewatch that one the most. it took me a long time before I saw Superman 3. I remember as a kid absolutely loving Superman 4, and then I watched it when I was a little bit older, and I was like, yeah, this isn't good. But as I watched it more and more, I still like Superman 4, but I know it's a bad film. I find it more entertaining than 3, if I'm honest. 3 for me is the hardest one to watch. It's I don't know what that movie's going for, or what it's trying. It's trying too many different things, and it doesn't work. I think Richard Pryor's humor in it is wasted. It's very sort of restrained from Richard Pryor. If you've sort of ever seen his stand up and you know what he's like, it doesn't feel like him. But yeah, some of the effects and the plot points in 4 are terrible. Like there's a scene where the villain, he kidnaps a woman and he flies her into space. No oxygen or anything. And she's fine. She's like up there. It's ridiculous. But yeah, 3 is all right. It's okay. It was just like Richard Lester getting full control of the reins, and the intro to that movie is just weird and bizarre. It's like a Carry-On film, compared to like the stuff Donna did in 2 and the first one. But yeah, the Donna cut for me as well is really good. It just, you can tell it's unpolished, like it's unfinished, because they didn't have the money or the budget to really invest in the effects and finish it off properly. But it's still a watchable film. It's just very, very ropey in places how it's stitched together. The first one for me is fantastic. It's a masterpiece now. I absolutely love it. I just think it's great. But yeah, Returns for me was okay. It was just a nod to those like first 2 Superman films, I think, from Bryan Singer. I think Brandon Roth was just cast because he looked like Reeve. But yeah, there's some weird storylines in that one as well, with like him potentially having a son. It just didn't work for me. But yeah, I just stick to those Reeve movies. I just think that is one of the best castings to do with comic book superhero movies ever.
Yeah.
Superman 1 and 2 were, I don't know if they were filmed back to back or they were filmed at the exact same time.
Yeah.
I think it was one long shoot for both movies. And then Richard Donner was replaced by Richard Lester. But if you watch the Donner cut, you can he's put in the screen test for Christopher Reeves and Margot Kidder. I think it's cut between Christopher Reeves's screen test and scenes that were shot with Margot Kidder prior to that, because I think his screen test was with a different actress, but I can't remember. I think that's why it feels a little bit unpolished and stuff, because it's stuff that he's taken that was done in pre-production and added that into the post. But Superman 1 and 2, well, Superman the theatrical, Superman 2 theatrical, and the Donner cut do feel like different movies.
Yeah,
it's like when you've got something like the Mel Gibson movie Payback, which again is the same type of thing. It has 2 completely different. It feels like 2 different films because there's 2 different cuts of it. Like if you watch like the director's cut of Alien or the director's cut of Terminator 2 and the extended versions of those, they are the same film. They're just a bit longer. Whereas the theatrical cut of Payback is a completely different film to the director's cut, which was I think it was Brian Helgeland was asked to make his own version of it after being somewhat, I think he was fired from the production of it. So the ending of Payback director's cut is completely different to the ending of the theatrical cut, which is why Superman 2 and the Donner cut feel so completely different, is because it's 2 visions from 2 different directors.
Yeah, I need to get around to watching the second one, especially. I just want to see what the difference is, because I do like the original. The original's good. I think my favorite Superman film, though, because it was the first one I watched, is probably Man of Steel. Yeah. Just as an origin, I just love that. And obviously not because they weren't trying to cast like someone to look like Christopher Reeve. They really went for it, and I think Henry Cavill really made the character his own and did his own thing with the character. And yeah, and then I've only seen the original Superman in the last few years for the first time, so still really enjoy that one. But I think for me, Man of Steel is probably my favorite Superman film as of yet.
Henry Cavill looks like comic book accurate Superman.
Yeah. But I don't know what the new one's going to be like. I hope it's good, but I honestly don't know at this point.
It's like they cast Brandon Roth because he looked like Christopher Reeve, but they cast Cavill because he looks like Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cisu is crazy and a great movie. I've not seen it yet. Is it worth watching then?
Yeah.
It's bonkers. It's great.
Yeah. I think I need to put that one on my list. I remember when it came out and everyone was talking about it because it kind of just came out of nowhere, just was in the cinema, it came out of nowhere because obviously it's quite a small film, but then everybody was talking about it and I just think I just missed it at the time and just never went and watched it. So yeah, I think I definitely need to grab a copy of that and give it a watch.
Yeah, it's weird because he should be dead within like the first 5 seconds of him being in the movie, but it just goes through the film getting more and more and more fucked up to the point where he just seems indestructible.
Yeah,
and the ending is mental. Just mental. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're supposed to be doing a second one as well, aren't they? I think I read somewhere.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Has anyone been to see Sinners yet? It's getting rave reviews. Not seen it yet. I think we might be going to see it at the meetup, Sam. I think that's what the talks are.
I can't wait, mate. It's been getting absolute fab reviews. It just looks amazing, and that director it's been very good as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's definitely my anticipated new release now at the cinema, I would say. I do want to catch what's that new film called? The film called Drop, which I've heard quite decent things about, and the Penguin Lessons with Steve Coogan. Gonna try catch that at some point. But Sinners and that film Warfare, I think, has been the talk of
reviews,
talk of the town, haven't they, Ollie? Both of them films, definitely.
Yeah, I think The Amateurs has quite good reviews as well, hasn't it? That
Oh
one
yeah, I
I've
wouldn't
really
mind
gotta
seeing
watch.
that, to be fair.
And then this weekend we've got The Accountant 2's coming out, and I loved that first film. So I'm so glad that we've got a sequel. I hope they do a trilogy now, because that first film, it's one of those films, I think, again, it really underperformed. Nobody went to see it, but it's such a good film. And I'm honestly surprised that we have a sequel, because I just never thought they'd make one, because it just nobody went to see it. But I hope more people go and see this one now, and we do get like a completed trilogy, because it's a quality film, that first one. Have you guys seen the first one, Andy and Pete?
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I didn't think it would need a sequel though, but I'm glad there is a sequel.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I think it could be. I like that they're building on, because it was only kind of really teased the brother relationship in the first one, and I like that this second one is like full on going into it. I don't know where a third one would take us. Obviously, you'd have to see the second one first, but if it's good, the second one, which I'm hearing it is really good, then as long as people go and see it, I don't see any reason why they won't do a third one, because I think they're quite keen to do a third one from what I've heard from Ben Affleck.
There's a really good video on online at the moment where Ben Affleck's going through every single film he made.
Yeah.
And he talks about certain films, and he talks about The Accountant, but it's worth a watch just to see him talk about the films that have got really bad reviews, films that are culty, like the Kevin Smith stuff and Phantoms.
Yeah.
And and the stuff that he's now doing, and like the failures of certain films that he's done. Like Live by Night was a film that he really wanted to make something. He wanted to make a gangster film like The Godfather and like the 1930s type of like gangster films, but that was a massive failure, and how he took it personally. It's really interesting. I think it's through
Yeah.
a Hollywood Reporter. I'm not sure.
Oh, I have to look
it's
that
like
up,
36 minutes long.
That one he did, that other one he did with Gavin O'Connor, I think it's called Finding the Way Back Over Here. That was really good because I think he really went into it because obviously he had like a personal sort of connection to his character, because obviously his character's like clearly a struggling alcoholic, and at the time he was like recovering still. I think Jordan's just joined. Hello, Jordan. How are you?
Hi, Ollie.
Hey, John.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I'm a bit late, mate. My lad decided not to go to sleep today because he knew I was on the live stream. So
That's all right.
Hope you're all well anyway. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, all good, thanks. We were just talking about the new accountant film. Have you seen the original one?
I haven't, but I'm planning on watching the second one because I've heard the second one's quite good and actually better than the first. So I have to get the first one watched.
Yeah, definitely. Hello, Sai. How are you? Ash said, "How's CEX going, Pete? Plus, have you seen Crazy Stupid Love? Remember it being good."
CEX is going okay. There's a lot to remember when it comes to the system. I'm a bit too old, I think, for all the stuff that's there. Trying to remember. I have seen Crazy Stupid Love. I remember watching that when it was released. It's been a while since I've seen it. I quite enjoyed it. Yeah, I'll watch anything with Emma Stone in though. So
yeah, I remember really enjoying Crazy Stupid Love, especially that garden party scene towards the end. That was just kept building up and just got funnier and funnier as the scene went on. Yeah, really like that film. Have any of you other guys seen it?
Yeah,
I've not seen it.
No, neither have I, mate. But I promise you, I have watched some films. I just haven't seen this or The Accountant.
Just unlucky that the films mentioned you've not seen.
Yeah, it usually goes that way on live streams when I'm on.
Yeah.
You went to see Sinners today, didn't you, Jordan?
Yeah, I got back a couple of hours ago, mate. It was really good, to be honest.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I think it got overhyped for me a little bit, but I still really enjoyed it. It's like a solid 8 out of 10 film, and to be honest, it is still my film of the year. I just don't think 2025 has been the greatest year so far, but it is a really, really solid vampire flick.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking that out.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Tom's here. Hello, Tom.
Hello,
Right,
bud.
Tom.
it's on.
Got to the end of the comments. So, Jordan, what have you, other than Sinners, been watching recently?
I've been watching all the Final Destination films. I've only got part 5 to go. I watched number 4 last night, which a lot of people seem to really hate, but I thought it was okay. It's the weakest one, but I didn't hate it. It was fun enough. You can see the 3D effect all over it, though. What else have I been watching? I watched a program called This City Is Ours on BBC iPlayer, and it's all taking place in Liverpool, where I'm from. And I didn't really fancy it at first, but it was really good. Me and my wife loved it. So I highly recommend that if none of you have seen it. What else have I watched? This month it's been mainly new stuff on the cinema and streaming, to be honest. I watched The Amateur the other night with Rami Malek. I thought it was average, to be honest. I expected a bit more from the trailer, but it was a bit of a slow-paced movie. But it was okay. And trying to think, I should have got my letterboxed up here, really, but what else? Sorry, guys. I watched a film the other night by Stephen Cognetti, who made the Hell House movies. I don't know if any of you guys have seen them. But they're like quite freaky films. They're all found footage, but he made another film called 825 Forest Road, which came to Shudder the other day. And it's not found footage, but I found it quite creepy, actually. And I'm not usually scared by films, but me and my wife were like, oh my God, this is really edgy and stuff. And I thought it was a really good, underrated movie for the year, to be honest. A lot of people don't like it, but I thought it was really good. So off the top of my head, that's all I can kind of think of, to be honest, Holly.
Yeah, some good watches there.
Yeah, not bad. Oh, I did watch the Florida Project for the first time as well last week, which I know Sam loves.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen 3 films by Sean Baker now, and they've all been excellent. So I'm gonna have to check out his other movies like Tangerine. I still haven't seen, but Red Rocket was my favorite. Like I love that film.
Yeah, that's a good film. I think that was the first, because I've not seen the Florida Project, but I think I watched Red Rocket last year or the year before. It's before Anora came out. I just thought it's just so good. The way like he writes the characters and the fact that it's like sort of everyday people, and someone you could genuinely come across in like everyday life. And I just thought his story was just really well written. And then obviously Anora last year, both mine and Sam's film of the year was just floored me. That did when I saw that.
Yeah, he's excellent, isn't he?
Definitely. Oh, he's mint, and Jordan. He's got to be, I think, one of the best directors working in Hollywood right now. I think, and I was going to say as well, Ollie just had some, like Anora. I think we've only got, what is it, a couple of weeks now till the 4K Criterion come out. Can't wait to watch that again, mate.
Yeah, I got that one on pre-order. I don't really do pre-orders anymore. I used to, but I stopped doing it. But yeah, I just had to pre-order that one because I need to watch that again.
Yeah.
Who's looking forward to seeing Havoc on Netflix? It drops on the 25th. Definitely, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, Tom Hardy, isn't it?
Yeah, and Gareth Evans in it as well. Did the raid.
Yeah, looks like there should be some great action in that then. I think
apparently
Tom Hardy,
there's a nightclub sequence in it which is mind blowing.
Yeah, I've seen a little clip of that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, that was shot. The Havoc was shot in Cardiff, which they've used as a replacement for New York. So where they shot is about a 4-minute bus ride from where I live, and they turned St. Mary Street, which is like a big shopping street. They turned it into New York by just chucking a load of white stuff on the floor to make it look like winter.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming at it, that film, because I think it started filming was it 4 years ago now?
It started filming in 2019, finished in 2020, but it's been in post-production since the end of 2020.
Yeah.
And the reason being that he wanted to make sure that the pacing was right, which is why if you look at the Raid 2 is nearly 3 hours long or 2.5 hours long. This film is 1 hour and 47 minutes. So it's going to be a straight to the point, fast-paced movie. So getting the pacing right, editing it down to get the right amount of action, story, and everything else that's probably why it's taken so long. And also, Gangs of London have kind of taken up his time as well.
Yeah, true.
I did watch a movie he made called The Apostle that came to Netflix, and that was a little bit of a slow-paced movie, I thought.
Yeah.
But the Raid movies are great. I actually prefer the second one, to be honest.
Yeah,
the second one's grand in scope.
Yeah, I think it expands what the first one does, and it just goes and does obviously more, because obviously that first one's a very confined story, and then obviously the second one just goes bigger, which quite like that one.
Yeah, most sequels that do something different are usually the better ones, I think. But that was all just in the building, obviously. But this one had a lot more story and different characters, and I just thought it worked for me a lot better, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
But the first one's great. Not taking nothing away from the first one,
Yeah. Has anyone been watching Mobland? Because I feel like I'm the only one that's seen that so far, but it's such a good series because it's Guy Ritchie.
I've seen the first episode.
Yeah. What did you
I
think?
just resubscribed to Paramount Plus to watch it because I didn't want to fill my hard drive up while downloading it. I thought it was great. I thought the first episode was fantastic. I haven't seen a proper British mob show that doesn't star Danny Dyer for God knows how long. And it felt like something along the lines of like The Long Good Friday and Mona Lisa, that type of British crime thing.
Yeah. A couple of people in my work watching it, to be honest, and they keep telling me to watch it, but I've got Black Mirror and The Last of Us in front of me, but I do want to get onto Mobland. It sounds like my type of thing.
Yeah, it's really good. I want to say I'm 4 episodes in now. I think I watched the 4th one last night. And yeah, each episode just gets better and better. Just the story and the tension between the two families, and Helen Mirren is she's excellent in it. It's like one of the best because she's such a bitch in it, but she's really good.
Yeah,
definitely worth watching.
Do you know what, Ollie? I've still not started season 2 of The Last of Us. That's what I need to watch this week.
That was what I was going to go to next. Has anyone watched The Last of Us? Has anyone? I haven't seen episode 2 yet, but I know that the big thing that happens in it. So, what's everyone's thoughts that's seen it?
I haven't gotten around to starting it yet. I've still got to finish Daredevil. I've got like 3
that was good.
Daredevil
that was really good.
I may start The Last of Us tonight because I absolutely adored the first season. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I thought it did something different, but also stuck to the plot of the game. The episode with what's his name?
Nick Offerman.
That's the one. Yes, I thought that was probably one of the best bits of written television for years.
I agree.
Years and years. It took the idea of of like The Walking Dead and just splashed it open. But yeah, it's great.
Does everyone know what happens in the second game? So don't spoil anything.
I know exactly. I'm surprised it's the second episode that they do.
I was as well because I was reading because I think someone put in one of the groups, I need like mental health help after there should be like an online reach group or something after watching that, and I thought, oh, I guess that means that it happened because at the end of episode 1, you're like, they get there, but you're like, surely it's not going to be like the next episode, and obviously it is. Have you seen it yet, Jordan?
No, I've seen the first season, but like I said, I was watching This City Is Ours, so that took up a lot of my time. But I think I'm going to start watching it pretty soon, especially with there being a couple of episodes out. I have played the game, loved the game. I know what everyone's talking about, what happened on last night. But I think this is the next show I'm gonna. It's either this or Black Mirror. But I don't know whether to start Black Mirror and let Last of Us build up. But I kind of want to start The Last of Us because it's like a minefield going online every time an episode drops. Even though I kind of know where the story's going because I played the game, but I mean, it's one of them I'm going to start. But I suppose with Black Mirror, you can just watch any. You don't have to like. It's each episode's different, isn't it? So I'm looking forward to Last of Us season 2, though. I loved the first season.
Yeah, me too. Andy, have you watched any of it yet?
No, I've never seen it, never played any of the games. I haven't got a clue. To it. But that's not to say that I'm not willing to give it a go, but as of right now, no.
Fair enough. Pete, did you say that you've seen how many episodes of Daredevil have you seen? I'm guessing you mean the new series.
Yeah, the new series.
Yeah.
How many have I seen? I think I'm up to 6.
Oh, you've only got a few left. I think you've got 3 left.
Yeah.
Or if you've seen 6, you've got 3 left. Yeah. Yeah. it has a good. I think of the Marvel TV shows that they've done so far on Disney, I think it's my favorite because I think it stays true to the original, like the Netflix series, but does more and it expands it. And the way the first series ends to set up the second series is just. I think the second series is going to be even better, just the way that it ends, because it's. Yeah, I thought it was just a great set, especially the episode. I think you've probably seen it by now. The one in the bank. Really like that episode.
Yes, yeah. I think that was actually the last episode I watched.
Yeah, really like that episode. Thought that was really well done. Yeah. Have any of you other guys seen that yet? Daredevil?
No.
I haven't.
No, it's one I do plan on watching, to be honest, but I just haven't got
time in it. Yeah.
Speaking of Marvel, did anyone watch the latest Amazing Spider-Man on Disney Plus?
I didn't know.
No,
I haven't.
Sorry, no, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. It's called. Sorry.
Oh, the animated one.
Yeah.
No. I haven't watched any of that.
I thought it was brilliant. You know, like really exceeded my expectations. I loved the animation. Story was great. Great characters. Highly recommend it.
I'll give that a try.
That one. Yeah, give it. I don't usually go for animated stuff, but if it's good, if you say it's good, I will definitely give it a shot.
They're only like 25-minute episodes as well, so
yeah, cool. Yeah, Sam, you've watched Black Mirror, haven't you? All of the new series.
Yeah, I'm loving it, mate, to be honest. It's been getting quite mixed feedback as this new season, but I'm really enjoying it. I thought the one without spoilers, the one with Peter Capaldi was probably my favourite episode of the new season. And that is just what I love about Black Mirror. It just keeps reinventing itself with each episode, because obviously it's an anthology episode. It doesn't matter, like, there's no rules to like what episode you have to watch in each order, because it's just a completely different wavelength, a different story. But I might even watch one more episode of that tonight, and then I think I've got another episode, and I think I'm complete on that. But been great, mate. Yeah, in my opinion, I think it's been the strongest season since, or set of episodes since season 4. But season 5 and 6 still had its strong moments, but it was just a bit inconsistent in my opinion. But yeah, I've kind of would say the weakest one for me was probably the first episode. I think was with Rashida Jones and that Irish actor who's been in multiple things. But yeah, that was probably my least favorite episode, but that was still not a bad episode. Whereas I think episode 2, I think I gave about 3.5. Episode 3 and 4, I've given it 4 out of 5 each on Letterboxd. So yeah, been very good. Really enjoying it, Ollie.
Nice. Yeah, I've not started it yet, but it's on the list of the many shows that I need to watch. I did start the Bondsman with Kevin Bacon. That's pretty good.
Okay,
I've only seen the first episode so far, but yeah, really good, like mix of horror and comedy. He basically plays like a bounty hunter. That, not spoilers because it's part of the show. He gets killed, and he comes back, and he's basically got to go and kill demons, basically. Otherwise, he'll get sent to hell. Really good, really funny as well.
Isn't that the plot of R.I.P.D.?
Yeah, it's basically the plot of R.I.P.D., but done better. And he's in R.I.P.D. as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a bad film.
I've not seen it, Ollie.
I've still never seen it.
Oh, it's a bad film. Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds and Jeff Bridges just totally like miscast. Well, Ryan Reynolds just was not good in it, and Jeff Bridges was just completely miscast in it.
There's 2 of them, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they did a direct-to-video sequel a few years ago. Yeah, not seen that one though. Won't bother with that one. But yeah, what else have I been watching? I watch. I don't know if anyone watches Hacks. That's quite good, quite funny.
No,
it's that one, mate.
Yeah, it's quite funny. That stand-up comedian, like an elderly woman stand-up comedian, she's trying to like sort of make a comeback. Quite funny. Got a lot of like famous people that pop up in it. Like the last series had Christopher Lloyd in it, and he was basically playing Fatty Arbuckle's grandson. And they had to try and get like the rights to make a film of his, so they go over to his house on Christmas Day and like invite him round for Christmas. It's really funny. It is really funny. If you've not like, I started binging it the last few weeks before the new series start. It's like one of the best comedy shows at the moment. So definitely recommend that if you've not seen it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really that big of a TV person, to be honest. It's just weirdly, there's quite a few shows I want to watch right now, but it's not often I actually go and watch series, to be honest. It's just mainly
I'm the
films.
same, Jordan. Yeah, I'm mainly movies, but when I watch the odd TV show, brilliant, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just it's dedication of time, isn't it? I suppose.
yeah,
I'm
That's
sorry
it.
about the noise in the background there. Sorry if you can hear it.
that's it. And the other series that I've been watching that's really good is The Righteous Gemstones, which is on its final series. That's really funny. Danny McBride just, yeah, I really liked Vice Principals, which he did a few years ago. That only lasted 2 series, but I thought that was really funny. And then yeah, it's got its good episodes and bad episodes. Sometimes the characters like get on your nerves a bit because they're very, especially like Danny McBride's character, they're very moany. But it can be really funny as well. Especially the earlier series, really funny. But yeah, I watch a lot of stuff like TV stuff because I like to try and keep up on all the stuff, like the big stuff that's everyone talks about that's really good. But there's just so much. It's just so, like you say, it's so hard to keep up with everything.
Oh, this is why like I get a bit like when people moan about TV shows and movies like so much, like fair enough, everyone's got an opinion, but there's that much you can watch and there's that much out there. I think we're really, really spoiled for film and TV fans now right now because there's just so much out there. Like I've got 6 different watch lists on Letterboxd there, and I'm never gonna get through them. Plus, I've got my Blu-ray watch list where I'm trying to conquer my collection, and it's just never ending, isn't it? But I'm never stuck for something to watch ever.
No, I think it's pretty impossible to like not find something to watch because there's, especially with streaming now, which is like even more. It feels like every week there's like a new streaming film out on one of the services.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not I do prefer physical media, obviously. I'm sure most of us do, but sometimes streaming has got the show like Black Mirror, for example, that we all want to watch, hasn't it? So sometimes it needs be.
Yeah, definitely. And the second
By the way,
series
can I just ask if Andy's seen R.I.P.D. too?
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet that he has.
I've seen the first one. I haven't seen the second one.
Right.
Did you loathe the first one as a lot of other people did?
No, I actually thought it was just slightly maybe above average because it was one of them where when you hear you can watch a film and you've heard people say like how bad it is, and it actually the reverse happens. You actually say, oh, okay, that wasn't as bad as well. That's kind of what I got from R.I.P.D. I thought it was fun. It had some fun ideas, but oh god, it's not a masterpiece or anything like that. It's just it was entertaining enough, but it got its problems. Yeah.
It's kind of like that for the Final Destination 4, to be honest. I was expecting the absolute worst. I just thought it was fine.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that movie's as bad as what people say it is.
Yeah, me neither.
It's definitely the weakest one out of the 5, but it's not as bad.
Yeah. Did you know there's this woman, she gets killed in it and she's credited as MILF. So, and there's also like this racist guy in it, and he's credited as racist guy, and his wife's called racist guy's wife. Looking at the credits, going, oh my god.
Well, creative.
They didn't bother giving him a name.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a guy who gets eaten in Jurassic Park: The Lost World, and I think he's credited as unlucky bastard.
Oh, that's even better. That.
Yeah. Is anyone excited for the second series of Andor? I think that's on in a few days.
Yes.
I really liked the first season for a while, and then it kind of lost me towards the end. I was like, I think I was just zoning out of it, to be honest. But
Yeah.
you know them episodes where they're in that prison? Oh my god, that was like so depressing, but like some of the best TV I've ever seen. Like 10 out of 10 episodes. But I'm not too hyped on season 2, I must admit.
Yeah. I think I watched 8 from the first series, and then I hadn't seen any. And now I've gone back because I think there's 12 of them in there. So I watched 9 last week. So I've got 3 more to watch before the new series. But I think I'm the same. When it got to the prison, because it's gone on for so long and so much had happened, I just kind of zoned out and I just lost interest. But it's a really well made show.
But it was kind of after the prison for me where I kind of started getting a bit. I really loved the prison episode, to be honest. But yeah, it was a really good show. That guy who's the main protagonist, I forgot his name. He's really good in it, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah. Ash said, if you had the opportunity to make a movie yourself, what kind of movie would you choose to make? He's put Jordan a slasher ?
That's Do you know what? I've got so many ideas for films I want to write down because I love writing. But I always like movies where you follow the antagonist a little bit, kind of like the movie Frontiers. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but they follow a gang of criminals who are on the run and you run into even worse villains. So I'd kind of like to make sort of a gangster movie that blends into horror a little bit. But if not, anything to do with a Nightmare on Elm Street reboot would be fine.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
I've written 3 screenplays, but would I want to make them into a movie? I've got 2 that I have ideas for. One of them I've had an idea for about 15 years, and I just cannot write it down properly. It's a World War II vampire movie about a group of commandos sent behind enemy lines to blow up a weapons factory in a small French town. And when they get there, the town is completely deserted. But when night falls, they find out why the town is completely deserted. And it's because they've all been turned into vampires. And it's basically Allied soldiers versus Nazi vampires. But I had this really cool idea of the soldiers having to get from a church, which, because the vampires couldn't get into, they just decided to burn it down. They had to get from a burning church to a fountain with a priest, so the priest could bless the water in the fountain to become like holy water that protects them from the attacks of the vampires. So there's that one, and there's another one which is it's kind of like a what they call it, to throw people off. It starts off like Friday the 13th. There's a group of there's a group of teens that have gone to this cabin to have a party, and it cuts to perspective of what we presume is like a Jason type of killer, but it turns out that the perspective is actually from a group of elite monster hunters who are tracking these teens who are all werewolves, and they go to this cabin to basically do their werewolf thing. So it's kind of like a From Dusk Till Dawn flip, but instead of being a serial killer, it's like these monster hunters who are trying to get these teens who are actually the monsters. I can't work it out properly, but yeah, those are the ones that I had ideas for.
I'd pay to see them, especially that the World War II vampire one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the World War II vampire one. I've had the same title for it. It's called Medal of Horror, which I've had for years and years, and I cannot write. The most I've written 50 pages of it until I got to the point where I was just like, I can't do this. I can't actually finish this. So I've had it start with a plane crashing in France, and then having to make their way through like fields and forests, trying to avoid like Germans that are like on patrol and stuff. There's a bit where they go through a tunnel, and on the other side of the tunnel they get to a checkpoint, which is just bodies everywhere, and they can't work out why. And it turns out that they were attacked by all these vampires. And yeah, it's an idea that I've been trying to get 100% for years. I did write a post-apocalyptic film that was about it was influenced by like 28 Days Later and like the Day of the Triffids and stuff like that, and Kevin Costner's The Postman, about a guy who is in a car crash. Opens a bit like The Walking Dead. The guy's in a car crash. He wakes up in hospital. Hospital's completely deserted. Turns out that there was a virus that has completely wiped out majority of the UK population. He is trying to then find out what happened to his family. Meets up with a girl whose dad was a prepper, but he died. And it's like a road movie, but he just keeps picking up survivors as it goes along. Meanwhile, there's a gangster, British, like a London gangster, who has kind of taken it upon himself to build a militia. So a bit like the militia in The Postman. And he goes around to these different like settlements of survivors, recruiting, well, not necessarily recruiting, but like forcing people to join the militia and then taking them to this place where he trains them how to kill, and it basically wants to take over the UK. I wrote the first part, which was 128 pages, and then I wrote the second part right after it. It took me 2.5 weeks to write something like 400 pages, and I still never finished the story. So there was going to be a third part where they go from where they are up north towards Scotland down to Wales, because I wanted to write something in Wales because that's where I'm from. But I got burnt out on it. I got about 5 pages in and went, I can't be bothered with this anymore. But that was an undertaking. That was 400 something pages. Was it 400? No, 200 and something pages. Sorry, in like 2.5 weeks. And yeah, that's that. I haven't written anything since.
Nice ideas.
Yeah.
Pay to watch all of them.
Definitely, yeah.
So the Medal of Horror started off as a zombie film because I was watching a lot of zombie films at the time, and I wanted it to be like a World War II zombie film, like Nazi zombies. But then that's kind of been done to death now. So
Especially Overlord.
Nazi vampires, I thought would be better, would like be a better option. And the idea of having like a fountain that is just full of holy water to protect them from these like feral Nazi vampires would be a really good idea.
There's a bit of a vampire renaissance on now, isn't there? Like Abigail, Nosferatu, Sinners.
Yeah. I always like a vampire movie. Always like a vampire film.
Yeah, definitely.
From Dusk Till Dawn is one of my favorite films of all time. So.
Yeah, I've had 2 very basic ideas. I've not really gone into it or put anything to like paper, like any specific ideas, just kind of an outline. One of them's like a time travel romance film. So like starts off in the present day, a wedding, and these 2 people that used to be together, obviously come across each other because it's mutual friends. Something happens, and there's this door that they fall through, and it takes them back to the Isles of Sicily during World War II, which obviously a lot of Italy, there were a lot of ports of stuff coming in back then, and it's kind of them adapting to life there because they kind of accept fate, that they might not ever get back. So like adapting to life and kind of growing closer again, because obviously they're forced to be together in this time period, and then how they sort of come back, like sort of action war sort of stuff happens, like there's like invasions and stuff, but yeah, that's the furthest I've ever got. It's just been thoughts in my head. I've thought a bit about it, but I've never put pen to paper on it. But yeah, because I like history, and I'm a big sucker for romance films. I thought like kind of crossing that with time travel, but then time travel can also be quite difficult because you'll get people saying they wouldn't do like with like the end game sort of stuff when they like were explaining the different types of time travel in films. Like you've got to like kind of make it as not realistic, but make it as like make sense and make people believe it as much as possible.
Well, the time travel in Back to the Future doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
At what point does a car have to go at 88 miles per hour to send 1.21 gigawatts through to a flux capacitor? Time travel is how you make it. You come up with an idea for time travel and you make them go back in time. It's what is it? Do you know it's the grandfather paradox, you know? So if you went back in time and you stopped your parents from conceiving you, then you wouldn't be able to go back in time to prevent your parents from conceiving you, so therefore they would conceive you. It's the whole loop. So time travel is easy to explain if you explain it in a non-theoretical way.
Yeah.
So you can like time travel is apart from the very minute amount of time travel that scientists have managed to do, which is just very small particles of matter. Time travel essentially is a fictional concept that you can kind of make up.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think by like, because I was thinking, how would they go back in time? I think by saying like, there's just a door that they fall through, and you don't really have to explain the how that much because you don't know how it happens. It just happens, and it's more of them obviously initially trying to find a way to get back, then after a certain amount of time accepting that they can't go back, and then obviously the end is, I mean, what would happen is they'd obviously fall back in love. Something would happen towards the end to split them up, as it usually does in the third act, like something to do with like some battle going on or whatever, like invasion of some sorts, and then them the door opening again, and then them having to go back, and that would be. But again, I've not thought in that much depth, but like a kind of outline I thought of, and another one I thought of again, just an outline, nothing big. Is about, it starts like with a guy in somewhere in England. I've not thought of where exactly. This kind of he's working for these shady guys to get money, like sort of like a gangster, but not like a loan shark type person who has like henchmen. And they basically say they're going to kill him if he doesn't give them a certain amount of money within this time. So he flees to America and like kind of takes refuge and hides in this small town in like the west, like a Texas type town, like in the middle, where there's like a lot of country, like music sort of stuff. And he kind of he's got like a bit of affinity for music himself, but he's never really pursued it. And obviously in this small town, nobody really knows who he is, but he soon like sorts, the more he's there, he kind of forms friendships, and he meets a girl and he falls in love, and she just so happens to be like an aspiring country singer, and he kind of helps her with her dreams. And I've kind of thought the ending, they like have this like big show, and throughout the film the two henchmen obviously find out where he's going, and you like kind of follow them get into there, and then obviously the end at the big show they turn up, and I'm thinking that they obviously connect that he loves the country singer. So they go to like shoot her, and he jumps in front of the bullet, that sort of thing. And because I'm a morbid sod, he does end up dying at the end. And but because he's like kind of changed the lives of the residents of the town and helped her, they like kind of remember him. And because I'm a sucker for like those Nicholas Sparks like adaptations, like A Walk to Remember, that sort of thing. And 9 times out of 10, they don't have happy endings. But it's kind of the way I say it, even though he dies, it has got like a nice resolution because he has helped this town out. He's like kind of brought life back into this town. He's helped a girl that he's like loved, changed her life forever, got her, like helped her with her dreams. And yeah, again, I've never put anything to paper, but it's just a sort of film that I would love to watch. So I've just, yeah, those are the 2 sort of films that I've thought if I was going to make a film, those are the 2 films that I would like kind of write a script for. But I'm not very good with writing scripts. I would probably have to write a book because yeah, I'm pants.
I'm the other way around. I can't write a book. I've tried to write a book.
Yeah,
but I'm so used to writing in a format that is set up as for a screenplay. So action, dialogue, then like exterior for scene. When it gets to writing a book, I write like one line of I don't know, prose, and then I have to have a full conversation. Like I can write a conversation between 2 people across 4 or 5 pages and have it just be a conversation. But in a book, you have to have like they say this, he replies, then this happens.
Yeah,
he reply, blah blah blah. But when in a script format, you have the line of action, say exterior or interior cafe, 2 men sit at a table. Then you start the dialogue, and you can have maybe 2-3 pages of just 2 people having a conversation with no action beat in between, or no like if it's like a shooting script, you'd have the camera movements and stuff, or like you would zoom in, you would zoom out, this person says this over the shoulder, blah blah blah. But yeah, that's why I struggle when it comes to writing a book, because I've tried it in the past and I've got to a point where 2 characters might have a conversation, and I've just written out the entire conversation between 2 people and not differentiated between who is saying what. And unlike in a script, you'd have the name, then the dialogue, then you'd have the reply via a name and then a dialogue. So it's much easier for me to write a screenplay because I can watch the movie in my head as I write it. Whereas writing a book, I can sort of envision it. You know, when you read a book, you sort of envision what's happening in a book.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for me to do that while writing a book. Whereas I'm writing a screenplay, I can watch that movie and I can direct that movie while I'm writing it. So I think for me, screenplays are a lot easier to write as opposed to a book. But
yeah.
Also, if you want to see how to bullshit time travel, just watch Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Yeah. A word that, yeah, that was
Yeah.
laughable. But yeah, I think I'll give writing a script a go, because I've always just found it in my head. Like I've started, but like the actions I found difficult, because I always find difficult. Do you need to like mention the camera shots and all that, and go how much detail you go into? That's what I've always found difficult.
I highly recommend reading some scripts to get an idea of how a script is laid out. When I started doing like I'd open the line or open the paragraph or open the film with camera moves this way, pan up, pan down. Where now I'm at a point, because I've been writing for 20 odd years, I'm at a point now where I'll just be like, it's Monday, the sun's out, there's people everywhere, this person, this person, this person. So you don't need to necessarily worry about camera movements. If it's easier for you to write that, if that's how you envision the scene happening, write it.
Yeah.
But me, I've got out of the habit of doing that, because if I was to sell a script, then it's up to the director to direct that script, not the writer to direct the script. But it's a lot of fun when you have an idea that you cannot stop writing. Like I said,
Yeah.
I wrote 2 full screenplays in 2.5 weeks because the story just kept coming and coming and coming and coming. But whereas the one with like Medal of Horror, I've had the idea for about 15 to 20 years and I've been trying to get it done, but I haven't got that story 100%. I have an idea. I have majority of the plot there. The ending, I have the idea for the ending as well, but it's from page 50 to page 90 is the hard part. So you've got your first act, which is your introduction. You've got your middle act, the second act, which is sort of, the second act always has to be longer than the first. And then your third act is your resolve. So my third act in my first script, which was like a sort of action, heroic bloodshed Hong Kong type movie, I basically padded it out because I didn't have enough story there. So I padded it out with description of a car chase, which was 3 pages long, which you don't really need to do that. I scripted every single bit, like car spins around a corner, another car spins around the corner and chases, but you don't need, you just write there's a car chase in shoes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you can figure out your middle, your beginning, your middle, and your end, but then fill out the pages in between the opening, the midsection, and then the end credits, it is a unbelievable feeling of when you write the end after however many pages. So each page of a screenplay should run about a minute. So if you've got a 90-minute movie, a screenplay should be 90 pages. It's like if you there's a really good website called simplyscripts.com, which is updated weekly, where you can read a lot of big Hollywood studio film scripts, but you can also read unproduced ones, stuff that's not necessarily on like the blacklist, but there's a lot of stuff that other writers have written that you can find, and some of them are really, really good. Some of them are really, really poor. I mean, me personally, after writing 128 pages, I am not going to go back to that script to rewrite it, because I've just written 128 pages. To have to rewrite those pages again, I can't do more than one draft. But then I'm not planning on selling mine. But yeah, check out simplyscripts.com, because it's really, really good resource for learning, and also for finding scripts that may differ from the final version. Like George Romero's Land of the Dead script is very different from the final script that was actually filmed. There's an entire section in there with zombie rats. That's not even in the movie. But yeah, watch it.
Have you ever read the Nick Cave's Gladiator 2 script? I've heard that's quite a good script.
No. I know of it, but I haven't read it.
Because I've heard it like goes into like the present day, and it's got like time travel again, and obviously Maximus is back in it, and apparently Russell Crowe really liked it. They just couldn't get it produced back in the day, because I think it was about 2006 they did that script. But I just don't think they could agree on, like, they just couldn't get it made. But I'd personally prefer to see something like that than, although I really liked the new one, it did feel like there was something missing that the original had, like some sort of like magic to it that it just didn't have.
But didn't it have like more of a feeling of the opening of X-Men Origins, Wolverine, where it follows Wolverine and
going over time,
they go through different periods?
I think it's more like that. Yeah, I think that's what it was supposed to be like, which I think if the script was really good, I mean, I haven't read it, I suppose it's out there to read. If it was really good, then I think they should have made that instead of the new one, because I think Russell Crowe, from the sounds of it, he was quite pissed off that he wasn't the way that they went with the second one. And the fact that I think a lot of people just constantly were asking him, are you going to be in the second one? And because obviously he knew that he wasn't, because of the way they were going with it, I think it just pissed him off.
Yeah. To be honest, I'd rather see a sequel to The Nice Guys than a sequel to
100%
with Russell Crowe.
Why have we not got a sequel to The Nice Guys yet? And if they do it, it's got to be Shane Black again.
I think the reason is because Shane Black fucked up so badly with
The Predator. Yeah. He's
that
got a
is-
new one out this year, though, hasn't he? He's got that Play Dirty, which is another Parker film with Mark
Yeah.
Wahlberg. So
Oh, I'm not watching it then if it's Mark Wahlberg.
it could be
I
good.
don't want to see Mark Wahlberg playing Parker.
Well, the issue was it did really piss me off because originally it was going to be Robert Downey Jr. and I was like, yes. And then he, for some reason, stepped out and Mark Wahlberg came in, and I thought that's a bit of an odd change of direction to go from Robert Downey Jr. to Mark Wahlberg.
If it was Robert Downey Jr. when Kiss Kiss Bang Bang came out, yes, not Robert Downey Jr. now.
Yeah. No, yeah, I can see that. But yeah, it might be all right. I mean, it could be all right. It's got a good supporting cast, so it could be all right. But I think it's going straight to Amazon anyway, so I don't think it'll go into the cinemas. But
pretty much like every single Mark Wahlberg film these days goes straight to a
Yeah.
streaming.
yeah,
It's like,
no, yeah. I got a good question. Would you ever want to direct any of the films you've written, or would you rather give that to someone else to do? Is it just the writing you like?
well, I always wanted to be a filmmaker. I always wanted to direct movies ever
Yeah.
since I saw E.T. when I was very, very young. So Steven Spielberg is a huge influence on me when it comes to films. Obviously, Quentin Tarantino is a big influence as well, but I'm also influenced by the 70s filmmakers like Robert Aldrich and John Sturges and those people who did these big sort of war movies and the westerns and stuff. And Walter Hill is probably the biggest inspiration for me as a writer and someone who wants to make movies because of the stuff that he's done. So films like The Warriors and The Driver and those type of movies are the ones that have influenced me as a film, as a person who wanted to be a film director. I would rather make films like that. So something like the post-apocalyptic one that I wrote, maybe not me as a director, but something like Medal of Horror is something I would absolutely it would have to be full practical effects, no CGI, just sets, full blood spurts and everything. I think, yeah, if I was to direct one of my scripts, it would be Medal of Horror, not the other one.
Nice. Andy and Sam, you got any ideas of films you would want to make?
Do you want to go first, Andy?
Okay. No. I have no idea.
Easy answer.
Could be equal to Yes Man, No Man.
No, I would love to, because we don't really see much of them nowadays. Maybe something that felt like it was from the 80s.
Yeah.
Because I think when you films now have lost, for me, that time period. Like, you can watch a film and go, oh yeah, okay, it's set in that time period, but it's from this decade. Like, it's from now. You don't really have that anymore, I don't think.
Yeah.
Like, you can put a movie on and you can probably tell what time period it's from. Maybe make something that nobody can guess when it's from. But yeah, I don't know, something like that.
I think the reason why films that are set in the 80s that are made now look so bad and just don't have that same feeling is because everything is shot digitally now. And in the 1980s, everything was shot in widescreen on film. It has that look. Like, I watched The Goonies a couple of weeks ago, and that film still looks incredible.
Yeah,
there's no green screen. It's all practical sets. It's practical effects. That's movies for me. That is not like a film. Like, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so seeing like Attack of the Clones, which is shot mainly on a green screen, nothing in that film felt real. It all felt artificial. But when you realize that there was actually quite a bit of practical effects in that film, but it was just well hidden. But yeah, I think visual effects have kind of ruined films that are set in that period, because everything is matte painted digitally now. So if you had something that was there in the 1980s that's now gone, they would matte paint that in, but it would be digital and not like a hand painted matte painted.
It's like you can watch something like Stand By Me and you completely buy that that's filmed in the 50s, even though it's an 80s movie.
Yeah.
There's just no digital. But like you said, something like Attack of the Clones, to me, that is a very, very ugly movie to look at.
Oh, 100%.
Because it's just so green screen and digital everywhere. It's an onslaught. It's just everywhere. There's nothing about that movie that looks natural.
It doesn't feel like it really connects visually with the other three, does it? Like, I don't know what you guys, but like when them first 3 episodes come out, I was like, it just feels detached because it looks different. If you get what I mean.
Yeah. Like Phantom Menace looks good. It's got good location shooting on that, like some really good sets. The CGI technically doesn't really hold up now compared to other stuff, but even the CGI in the Phantom Menace is better than the CGI in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
And then Revenge of the Sith, it's still actually, I reckon that film still really stands up. The CGI in that film really works. Like the battle between Obi-Wan and Anakin at the end, it just looks really good. You can still tell that it's CGI, but it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Got a new Star Wars film coming, haven't we?
We got 2. I think we got the Mandalorian and Grogu, and then the Starfighter one with Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. Is this going to be episode 10?
I think so, yeah. I think they said that it is technically a sequel, but I'm hoping that they don't bring back any of the characters, because I think they just need to go and... Because at the end of the day, I think... Because I've only seen the original trilogy and the new trilogy. I've not seen the prequels yet. But I think what the sequels did wrong was bringing back the original characters and then misusing them.
I think the main thing the sequels did wrong was having no idea of where they are going to go.
They just
allowing Ryan Johnson to do the middle film and completely
destroying the vision,
what had been set up in the first film. And now you have actors like John Boyega coming out talking about how fans hated his character, but fans wanted to see a force-sensitive stormtrooper, the first person in the sequels to wield a lightsaber against a Sith, and then he just got relegated to comic relief.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the problem.
Yeah. I hope they do steer away from them now, though. I hope they go, because it's a universe at the end of the day, and pretty much all of these films have just followed the same characters. Even the spin-off TV series is the same. It's not, although the original series they have done with completely new characters haven't really worked. Like the Acolyte, Skeleton Crew was all right. I quite like that, but yeah, I think they just need to go a completely fresh direction with completely new characters in it. I think that's the way forward.
That's why they don't need a Rey film. We had enough of Rey in the first.
I hope they cancel that film, because it's just it sounds like it's pants. I want to see
stuff and then they cancel it. Like Rogue Squadron sounded amazing.
Yeah. But I think Kathleen Kennedy's dropping down, isn't she?
Yeah.
Which is good, because she's the one that's kind of put it in where it is now. But I want to see, because we've had so many directors announced, they're going to be doing, James Mangold's supposed to be doing one, and Taika Waititi. But is it actually going to happen?
No.
I
don't even think this Starfighter one's going to happen either.
Well, they've given it a date, but
they gave the others a date as well.
Outside of that, we've got a director and the lead star, and that's it. Nothing else.
We got an awful ending to Game of Thrones because the 2 writers wanted to go and start work on their Star Wars script, which then got canned and cancelled. Patty Jenkins announced Rogue Squadron, which could have been amazing. Then there was another film that was announced that got shut down. Then they were saying, Ryan Johnson's going to write a new trilogy, which apparently is still going on. which I don't think many people are going to be interested in because of
Yeah.
how he destroyed the franchise. Then you've got this new Starfighter thing. You've got the Rey movie. You've got they milk in Star Wars for whatever they can, and it's putting fans off, which is why The Acolyte was hated. Season 3 of The Mandalorian was absolutely loathed because of how shit it went compared to the first 2 seasons, where they
had
completely
Lizzo in it, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, if they
I
wanted to
never
make
even watched it.
if they wanted to make a show about Bo-Katan, they should have made a show about Bo-Katan, not a show about Bo-Katan featuring the Mandalorian. Same as with the Book of Boba Fett. They wanted to make season 3 of the Mandalorian, but they had to, for some reason, use Boba Fett, so they made a series. Halfway through the Boba Fett series, it's like 2 Mandalorian episodes.
I liked Boba Fett until the Mandalorian come in, and I loved the Mandalorian, but that was a bad move for that show. I thought I was really enjoying Boba Fett, and then when he come in, I was like, this isn't the same show.
No, it wasn't. It was Mandalorian 2.5. The Book of Boba Fett could have been good. There was a lot of issues with it, like the moped tech cyborg people, and him taking his helmet off every 5 seconds. But other than that, I didn't think it was that bad. It would have been better to see it more of like a gangster show, with him becoming the head crime boss of Mos Eisley and that area around there. But yeah, they didn't follow it through. They just added another Mandalorian plot into it.
Yeah. Sam, what would you make as a film if you could?
This is an interesting one. So I've kind of come up with something similar to like a Black Mirror episode. Like, I don't know whether to do it like as like maybe it's like a mini series or a film, but basically it stars as that it stars this lady who's basically her business is under pressure. It's like specializing in like cooking. She's got like her own like independent business, but she's kind of under pressure because obviously, like reviews have kind of come and gone. She had a really successful recipe at the start, but then a couple of recipes are kind of, wasn't successful as that first recipe, and that was like years ago. But then it kind of spirals into she's kind of leading to her, business kind of going down like, like it kind of, like it's kind of down a bit of a slippery slope. But then she comes up with it like a one day a light bulb moment comes, and then she comes up with like a new recipe, and she decides to finally try something with turkey mince. And basically, she comes up with that, and then I kind of haven't figured out the whole meal. It could be with spaghetti bolognese, something like it could be like something similar to like shepherd's pie or something, something along those lines. I kind of haven't figured that bit out yet, but then her recipe really puts her back on the map and becomes a bit of a worldwide success, to the point where she's getting the best rave reviews across the board. But then she tries to add put some other like layers to it, and then it kind of has a bit of an effect that kind of it's kind of almost got a bit of a drug to it, and then it kind of has other like symptoms and stuff, and then that's kind of what makes a recipe more successful, because it's like a rehabilitating of something. But then as it goes on and she adds all these bit of layers to it, it kind of becomes a bit satirical, or bit, it kind of blows out of proportion, shall we say. Yeah, that's when the turkey mince effect kicks in, I guess.
Interesting.
I thought it's something along those lines. If not, only I'd probably say the other one I had in mind was something to do with time. So there's like this world where people live in the time zone of it's just daytime throughout their lives, and then there's people that live you know, on the other side of the water of the world, where it's just nighttime throughout. And then it's kind of like, what happens if someone goes to visit the daytime alternative world, someone goes to visit the nighttime alternative world, and it kind of, to cross it, I figured something along those lines as well. And then yeah, something along those lines, I would say, Ollie.
Nice thoughts. Yeah, nice ideas.
Thank you.
Sai said, Bondsman is a basic remake of an old TV show from '98 called Brimstone. It only lasted one season, but I thought it was okay. Never heard of Brimstone. Have any of you guys heard of it?
I've heard of it.
No.
One second, Ollie. I'm just going to get a cushion.
Yeah.
1 second.
No problem.
Brimstone.
I know the film with Guy Pearce. I've not seen it. I've heard it's good, but I've not seen it.
Yeah, it's not bad actually. Brimstone, the film.
Yeah.
Ethan Rife, Chris Cyrus, voice. Oh yeah, so the plot of Brimstone is a dead cop sentenced to hell is returned to Earth by the devil to recover 113 escaped evil spirits.
Yeah, that's basically the
exactly
same as
like
the
plot of
Bondsman.
Bondsman.
Yeah. Literally, yeah. But I mean, like I said, I've only seen the first episode, but they're like short episodes. They're only half an hour, so it's going to be one that's going to be quite easy to binge, I think. But it's just quite an easy watch because it's quite good. But see
The
how
trailer
that goes.
reminded me of Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Yeah, I've heard it's been compared to that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Do you know, I never finished that, by the way, Ollie. I watched the first 2 seasons, but not watched season 3 of that. That was really good from what I've seen.
I've not seen any of the Evil Dead films, and I've not seen that either yet. I'll say yet because I do desperately want to watch the original like Evil Dead trilogy because I've heard that I think different people like different ones. There's some that like the original, like love the original. Some that think the second one's better, and then there's like a group that really like Army of Darkness as well. So I think it's down to the person, but I'm looking forward to eventually getting round to them.
Yeah, that's my favourite horror film series, Ollie, if I was to pick one.
Yeah.
There isn't a bad film in them. They're all good to a certain point.
Yeah.
Probably one of the strongest horror franchises, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking them out.
Yeah, and do you know what, Jordan? We'll probably agree with this one as well. Probably the 2013 Evil Dead is probably one of my favourite remakes as well, to be fair.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's actually my favourite film in the Evil Dead franchise, to be honest.
It's really good, mate. I love that film.
Yeah. Solid remake.
I re-picked that up not so long ago. I still have to. I've seen it. I just haven't gotten around to watching it for a while. I still own Evil Dead Rise. I've had that for about 2 years and I haven't watched it yet.
Have you never seen it?
No, I've seen like the first 20 minutes or so at the lakeside cabin, but I haven't seen anything past that. But
I really like
if you're going to
Rise.
watch Ash versus Evil Dead, Ollie, I would say there's 3 different kinds of Ashes in the movie. You've got Evil Dead 1 Ash, who is kind of like just a young student-y guy thrust into a situation that is a bit odd. You've got Evil Dead 2 Ash, which is him trying to be more the anti-hero. And then you've got Army of Darkness Ash, where Ash is a complete buffoon. Which, when you watch Ash versus Evil Dead, don't compare Ash in that TV show to Ash in the first 2 Evil Dead movies, because it's Army of Darkness Ash through and through. He's an absolute idiot in the series, which is what makes the series work so well. But yeah, I highly recommend it. And a lot of people kind of moaned at how the show ended in season 3, but I thought the ending of season 3 was absolutely fantastic and goes right back to how the ending of, without spoiling it, goes right back to the ending of Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely worth watching.
Yeah, I'll definitely be checking them all out at some point soon. Hello, Jodie. How are you?
Hello, Jodie.
Hey, Jodie.
Hey, Jody.
Just watched Better Man over the weekend, and while that was full of CGI, it felt really authentically 90s in the way it was shot. So refreshing from the pristine digital films of today. Yeah, I loved that film. Didn't think it was going to work at all, but I loved it.
Yeah, I do want to see that at some point.
Yeah, I still haven't seen it.
Yeah. Jordan or Andy, have you seen it?
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Andy.
Okay. Yes. I really liked it. I don't really think you need to be a fan of Robbie Williams or take that to enjoy the film. It still manages to do its own thing, and it is visually exciting and interesting to look at. It's not a boring movie or anything like that, but it just makes this odd choice to have him as a chimpanzee, and the movie goes with it, and it doesn't explain why, and you buy into it, and I just had a good time with it, and yeah, it's just a really good, different biopic.
Yeah, I didn't fancy it at all because I'm not the biggest Robbie Williams fan. But then my wife's friends, we were all out like taking the kids out on a day out over Christmas, and they said, "Look, even if you don't like Robbie Williams, go and watch it. It's really fun." So me and my mate went and watched it, and it was like one of the most surprising movies of last year, I thought. My only reason that I can think they done CGI on Robbie Williams is to maybe get people in the US interested in it, because loads of people don't even know who he is in the US. But it didn't work, so it was a bit of a box office flop, unfortunately. But I think this is a movie that is gonna get more recognition over time. But I thought it was great, so much fun, great biopic. I absolutely loved it, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely agree with that.
And you never really bothers you that he's the monkey. You just go with it.
Yeah,
Really, it's
yeah.
weird. It's weird.
Yeah. Oh, here's one, good one.
Oh,
I've already read this question. This is
Yeah,
too hard.
movie face-offs. Or I'll go first because I think I could get through these pretty easily. Alien versus I'm guessing he means aliens versus, not alien versus predators. Aliens, definitely 100%. RoboCop versus the Terminator. I've not seen RoboCop yet, so it's got to be the Terminator. Goodfellas versus The Godfather. Goodfellas, I adore. As you know, I didn't get on with The Godfather when I watched it. Scream versus Nightmare on Elm Street. Scream's my favorite horror film of all time, so gotta go with Scream. Point Break versus Speed. I haven't seen Point Break yet, so gotta go Speed, and that again is one of my favorite action films of all time. So, yeah. Andy, do you want to go next?
Sure. I enjoy all 10 of these films off the bat. That's just tough. Okay, first one I'll have to go Predator. Second one I'll have to go RoboCop. Third one I might have to go Goodfellas. As much as I love Elm Street, I'll go with Scream, Point Break, and Speed. I'm gonna go Point Break.
Yeah. Sam?
well, the first one, very obvious. It'll just have to be Predator because,
Yes, Sam.
I've still, after all this time, still not
After
seen
12
it.
weeks, Sam, you've still not seen Aliens.
I've got to pick this up on 4K at some point. I mean, it's what should I tell you what, Ollie? This is a good question. Should I watch it this year at long last? No, that's a bit of a silly question. I should watch it. Like I should have watched it years ago, to be fair. Or should I savor my first time viewing of Aliens for next year, because it could have a potential 40th anniversary cinema re-release and my first time watch of Aliens on the big screen? What should I do there?
I think
Question for Andy, Jordan, and Pete as well.
I don't
Also,
think you're going to have a
Jordan.
choice.
I think you should just watch it straight after this stream, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Watch it
Sam, you're not
immediately.
going to have a choice, because I think when the meetup happens, if I don't put it in your hands to buy in HMV, Stuart or Roy, they're definitely, or Tim, are definitely going to put it in your hands. So I think one way or the other, in the next week or so, you're going to have it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching it, mate. Nonetheless, I think I don't need to question myself. Am I going to like or love this movie? I just know I'm going to love it. Yeah, really looking forward to watching it. I'm just surprised that I've watched Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 1 and 2 before Aliens. It's just, the mind boggles, but really looking forward to watching it. But Predator, fantastic. Robocop versus Predator, Robocop versus the Terminator. I'm sure me and Jordan will be in agreement here. I do absolutely love the Terminator, but I'm gonna have to go Robocop. I'm probably, as much as I do love Goodfellas and I love the pizza, I'm gonna have to go with The Godfather. And Part 2 is just amazing as well. Scream versus Nightmare on Elm Street. Love the first Scream film. The second one's fantastic. I will go with Nightmare on Elm Street. And I love Speed, but I probably would say I literally just rewatched Point Break. Me and Roy had a watch along with that on Friday evening, and yeah, Point Break, fantastic. We'll go with that one. It's just love the catchphrase, 2 sandwiches and 2 lemonades and rock and roll. Just cracking movie, that, Ollie. You're in for a treat with that one.
Yeah, I think that's one that I might have to get on the meetup for sure.
Yeah,
Jordan, what about you?
Well, Aliens, definitely. I do like, but I like Andy. I like all 10 of these movies, by the way. But Aliens for me is in my top 5 movies of all time. Now, Robocop vs Terminator is kind of a hard one because I do think Terminator is the overall better movie, but my personal favorite movie of all time that I've watched more than anything is Robocop. So I hope that makes sense. It's just got that slight more rewatchability for me. But overall, I think the Terminator is a slightly better movie. But I just love Robocop. So I think there's a difference between best and favorite, just my personal opinion. Goodfellas or The Godfather, I would go with The Godfather. I would probably, again, that's a hard one, but I just think the last 20 minutes of Goodfellas goes downhill a little bit. The Godfather's a masterpiece. Scream vs Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm a big Freddy fan. I've got a Nightmare on Elm Street shirt on here, but Scream is the better movie. I think the ending of Nightmare on Elm Street is very flawed. And Point Break vs Speed is an easier one for me because Speed, again, is like one of my most rewatched movies of all time. And I do think it's a better movie than Point Break as well.
Nice. What about you, Pete?
Aliens, 100%. I love Predator, but Aliens, like, hands down. Aliens is the film I use when I'm testing out audio equipment because of the minigun sounds. It just blows my mind. I just think it's a better film. Predator is great. It has amazing score by Alan Silvestri. Arnold is badass in it. Everyone else is badass in it. But it's a slightly higher budget Running Man, if you know what I mean. So it's got actors who are in the Running Man in Predator, like Jesse Ventura. But Aliens is just, yeah, it's amazing. Robocop versus Terminator. This is really hard because I've got Robocop on physical. Like, I've got 5 different versions of Robocop on physical compared to the one Blu-ray of the Terminator that I have. But Terminator is the better film. It's a slasher robo chase movie with time travel elements, and it looks amazing. Like the chase scene where they're going through the tunnel and you've got the overhead lights, and yeah, it just looks incredible. If it was RoboCop versus Terminator 2, it would still be the Terminator, but I love RoboCop. Goodfellas versus The Godfather. Goodfellas, in my eyes, is overrated. It's a good movie, but it's massively overrated, like a lot of Martin Scorsese movies. But The Godfather is 100% a masterpiece. Like, I can watch The Godfather anytime and not get bored by it. Goodfellas, I'm just like, nah. But again, if it was The Godfather versus Once Upon a Time in America, Once Upon a Time in America would win. Scream versus Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street was one of the first horror movies that I ever saw, but I love the Scream movies, so I'm choosing Scream. Point Break versus Speed. Point Break every time, just for the foot chase.
Ash said, well, gents, time for a more late night question. What are some of your favourite steamy scenes in movies? Oh, I'm going to go for probably the ultimate steamy scene in any film, and I think some of you might agree, and that's got to be Sharon Stone in Basic Instinct.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that's like the ultimate, like erotic, like that whole scene. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go for. What about you, Andy?
Oh God.
It's a question. I didn't want to go too risque, so I thought I'd go with a nice start.
It's a very good question with many an answer. I might have to go with the cake scene from Under Siege. If you know, you know. There's like there's a lot of dodgy VHSs where that scene used to skip back in the day. Yeah, that's really the only one I can think of.
Yeah, fair enough. Sam, you got to bring it. We got to get like progressively worse as we go along. So no pressure, Pete. But
the one that came to mind was probably the scene, obviously, with Margot Robbie, the iconic scene with Margot Robbie in Wolf of Wall Street.
oh, that's a good one.
Just but also there's one I haven't seen it for years, but there was the one scene I think I'm thinking of in the original American Pie, which is the only one in the film series I think I'm thinking of. Sorry, that's it.
Yeah.
There's that one. Yeah, I'll go with them.
Nice, Jordan.
I was going to say the pie scene from American Pie as a joke, but I'll go with the whole movie of Species, to be honest.
Damn it, that was what I was going to choose.
Oh, sorry, Pete.
No, I've got a couple, don't worry.
Yeah, I remember watching that as like a 10-year-old going, ooh, what's this? So yeah, Species it is.
Yeah, Pete.
So there's a few. There's 9.5 Weeks. Kim Basinger and Mickey Rourke. The food play bit with the fridge and the ice cube on the nipples. But Jamie Lee Curtis's striptease in True Lies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, enough said for that.
And the entirety of Species.
I'm on a bit of an island with this, but I've just never ever found Jamie Lee Curtis attractive ever. I just don't know what I know a lot of people do, but even that scene in True Lies didn't do it for me. I just
She's got a very manly face, doesn't she?
I was 11 when I saw that film for the first time, and that was eye-opening.
Yeah, she has a very manly face, I think.
The swimming.
I mean, I don't want to like put it down
Showgirl.
too much, but I think it's just a personality as well. Like I've heard her come out with loads of like quotes in the past, and I'm just like, she seems like a bit of an asshole, to be honest. But maybe that's just me. I from what I've seen, I'm just like, is she messing saying stuff like this? So. But I do like her in Halloween and stuff. I just don't really find her attractive, and as a personality, doesn't rub me the right way either.
Yeah, fair enough. And Ash has said, "You dirty boys." Yes, indeed. Thanks, Ash, for asking that question. At least it made us think. I thought
I've actually got the whole Species box set on my watch list because I own it on Blu-ray. So yeah, I might get to that quite soon. I've seen the first one. I've seen most of the second, but I haven't seen 3 and 4 of it. The terrible.
The second one, I really like the second one. I thought the third one and the fourth one were rubbish because they're straight to DVD sequels. But
kind of like them Anaconda films, like the third and fourth.
Exactly the same as Anaconda. The second one is actually not that bad.
Andy, I watched it this month or last month, and it's underrated. I think that's a solid sequel. You know what? I might even prefer it over the first.
The first, I think it's the Tremors movies as well, isn't it?
one's like the one it's known for, and then 2 is like, oh, hang on, that's actually not that bad. But 3 and 4 are absolute garbage with both Species and Anaconda. Yeah.
I can remember that happening with the Tremors movies. The first Tremors movie is amazing. The second Tremors movie actually turned out to be pretty good. Yeah. And then Tremors 3 and 4 of the original collection were trash, and they've just carried them on since.
Yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis as a chin Batman would be proud of.
That's what I was laughing at.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I thought for the next bit of the stream, or it could be the last bit, depending on the comments, I thought we'd have like a little look ahead. I've got some films written down that are gonna come out potentially in the next year. Could be a little bit longer than that. They've all been shot, so they've all definitely been made. I just wanted to get everyone's thoughts, if there are any, on some of these films, and see what your thoughts of the ideas of them are. So the first one I've got is a film called Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, which is a new film from director Gore Verbinski, who I don't think's done a film since A Cure for Wellness in 2017. Yeah. It's got, I know Sam Rockwell's in it, he's the lead, and the plot is a sci-fi film. It's basically set in this diner, and Sam Rockwell's character comes back from the future to the present day, or it might even be like the 80s or 90s, basically, and he goes to this diner and he says that he needs their help to save humanity in the future. That's the log line for it. But yeah, my thoughts are, I'm interested to see another film from Gore Verbinski, because he's not done anything for a while, but he's a very hit and miss director. More hits than misses, I think, though. Do you guys have any thoughts on that one?
I'm just reading about it now.
I've never heard of it.
I haven't. Ollie, no.
First I've heard of it, mate, but I've just got it up on Letterboxd. I'll definitely watch it. Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah, I think Gore Verbinski, he's a very interesting director, because I mean the first 3 Pirates films are really good. What others? The Mexican I quite liked, with Brad Pitt and Julia Roberts. I thought that was all right.
That's a good one.
He did Rango as well, didn't he?
Yeah,
I think he did, which is good.
Yeah.
And then obviously he did the 4th Pirates of the Caribbean, which isn't too good. And then he did A Cure for Wellness, which I quite liked as well, but he's not done anything since. So it'll be interesting to see what his like comebacks like, whether it does well, but sounds good.
It sounds like a mix between the film Legion,
and
the
Angel one,
the film The Tomorrow War. But instead of aliens, it's artificial intelligence. I don't know. I mean, it could be interesting. It is action, adventure, drama, sci-fi, written by Matthew Robinson. What was he written?
I mean, Sam Rockwell's
so
pretty good.
He wrote Love and Monsters, which is great.
I enjoyed
I love Love and Monsters.
The Invention of Lying, which is also quite good.
Yeah, like that.
He also wrote Dora and the Lost City of Gold.
Oh dear.
I don't know, it could be interesting. It could be pretty good. I quite like Gore Verbinski as a director, though.
Yeah.
I think didn't he do the Lone Ranger as well?
He did, yeah. That was the other one I was forgetting. With Johnny Depp, yeah. So, yeah, I think he had 2 misses. What was that, Jordan?
He done the Ring remake as well.
He did, I've not seen that one,
Mouse Hunt, The Ritual, The Mexican, The Ring, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Weatherman. That's not bad film.
Yeah, I like The Weatherman. Yeah, that's a decent film.
Rango, Lone Ranger, and Cure for Wellness is pretty good. He's done quite a few different genres.
Yeah. Has he done sci-fi before, though? Is this his first like sci-fi film?
I think Cure for Wellness is kind of in the realms of science fiction.
Yeah.
And The Weatherman, doesn't The Weatherman have like alternate reality type of stuff in it, or is that something else? Is that the Family Man. I'm thinking
That's
of.
the Family Man. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where he wakes up on Christmas and he's got
Yes,
family.
that's
Love
the one.
that film. Yeah, yeah.
Could be
No.
intriguing. Could be
Yeah.
interesting.
The next one I've got down is a film called I Love Boosters, which is Boots Riley's new film, who did Sorry to Bother You, which I really liked. It's got a really good cast. The name that sticks in my head the most, obviously, because she's just come off of a big hit, is Demi Moore. I don't know how big of a part she's got in it, but if it's anything like Boots Riley's past stuff, it's going to be really out there. I think it's got something to do with like the fashion world and comedy, but not 100% sure. But I know that's
Follows a group
coming
of shoplifters who take aim at a cutthroat
That's it.
fashion maven.
Yeah,
Has got a cast in it.
yeah.
Will Poulter, Isaac Gonzalez, Demi
Will
Moore,
Poulter.
Kiki Palmer, Lakeith Stanfield, Naomi Aki.
Really good cast.
Really good. What else has he done then? What's he directed?
He did Sorry to Bother You, which was Lakeith Stanfield, which I really like that one.
On that movie.
And he did that series. Was it last year, the year before? I can't remember what it was called. About the giant.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah,
I only watched like the first episode and then I got cheesed off with it. Can't remember what it was called though.
Weird.
But yeah, that could be a good one. The next one I've got written down is a film called Famous, which is directed by Jodie Hill, who does a lot of stuff with Danny McBride. So I think he helped create a lot of like his series, like Eastbound and Down, The Righteous Gemstones, and he directed one that I can remember called Observe and Report with Seth Rogen.
Yeah, Observe and Report is absolutely shit.
Yeah, it is bad.
It's an R-rated version of Paul Blart Mall Cop. That is just awful.
But this Famous, I think it's A24, and is Zac Efron. I think he plays like a lookalike to a famous actor who becomes obsessed with him, I think, along those lines. Again, I don't know who else is in it. All I know is Zac Efron's in it. But
got old Bill Pullman's in it.
Oh, is really? Oh,
Bit like Bill Pullman, like.
Yeah, he is good. Yeah, but yeah, I think the premise sounds interesting on that one. So, and I like Zac Efron's been on kind of a winning streak since the Iron Claw. So, hopefully, it's good.
Okay, he's got some decent writers behind it.
Yeah.
So it's written by Blake Crouch. Blake Crouch wrote the novel Wayward Pines, which was turned into a TV show. That was, the first season was really, really good. It had Matt Dillon in it. It was about sort of like time travel, but also not time travel. It was like suspended animation stuff.
Yeah.
But that was a very good show that kind of lost its way in the second season. What else has he written? The Darkest Minds. That was bad.
Oh yeah, that was.
This is a guy called Chad Hodge.
Yeah.
Single All the Way, The Darkest Mind, Wayward Pines,
not
Playboy
good then.
Club, Runaway. Nah, I don't know. It could be interesting.
Yeah, could be an interesting one. The next one I've got though is one that I'm really looking forward to. It's called Outcome, and it's directed by Jonah Hill, and it stars Jonah Hill alongside Keanu Reeves, who is the lead. Cameron Diaz, who else is in it? Someone else is in it big, but it's like a black comedy. I think it's about a actor who, I think he says he's done something to he's done something in the past that he's trying to make amends for. So I think it's like a drama, black comedy type thing. And I love when Keanu Reeves does different things like that. So I'm looking forward to that one for that reason. And Jonah Hill, I haven't seen Mid-90s, but I've heard it's really good.
That's really good, Ollie. I've seen that.
Yeah.
Mid-90s works if you're from that era and you were into boarding. It also works if you've ever seen the movie Kids. But if you haven't seen Kids, then I would suggest watching Kids instead of Mid-90. I mean, it's okay, but Kids is probably it rips off a lot of stuff from Kids and tries to be that type of movie. Larry Clark did it.
Yeah.
But
Scared the shit out of me kids when I was young.
that was one of the films that got me into skateboarding when I was thin. I don't know about Jonah Hill. Like, I remember Jonah Hill when he was the fat nerd kid from Accepted, and now he's this tattooed, skinny guy that's quite pretentious.
Yeah. He won't do interviews anymore, will he? He said he won't do interviews anymore because he doesn't like the way people ask him questions or something like that.
Ollie, did you watch what was it? Because I never got round to watching this. Did you watch that drama that came out about? Was it about 10 years ago? Something with him and James Franco in. I can't remember if it was based on a true story or not. I don't know, but it was meant to be a bit more of a serious drama, and it looked decent from the trailer. But I've not seen it.
True story. Yeah, I've seen that. That was all right, actually. I didn't mind that.
Is it worth watching that one, mate?
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I think it was one that I streamed because I think purely because it's not got a Blu-ray release over here, and I wasn't fussed about getting the DVD. But it was all right from what I remember. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The next one on the list is one called At the Sea, and it's from the director of Pieces of a Woman, which came out a few years ago on Netflix, which got a lot of rave reviews. All I know about it is that it's got Amy Adams in. I think Rainn Wilson's in it as well from The Office, and I really like him. But I don't really know what it's about because I think he's got something else that he's doing at the moment. I don't know the name of it, but I know it's got Ellen Burstyn in, Taika Waititi's in it, I think, as well.
Yeah.
And Pamela Anderson as well.
Ellen Burstyn was in Pieces of a Woman, wasn't she, as well?
She was, yeah. I've not seen that yet, but I've heard really good things.
Yeah.
Great film.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, I'll have to get around to watching that. But yeah, At the Sea, because I've put it on my list because I know Pieces of a Woman was really good and it's got a good cast around it, so promising. The next one I've got is a Taika Waititi film. It's called Clara and the Sun, and I believe it's based on a children's book. Again, it's got Amy Adams in, Jenna Ortega, who's obviously on a bit of a winning streak at the moment, and I think it's about a robot, like a robot that's brought home for a family. But I don't know too much other. I mean, I put it on the list purely because it's Taika Waititi, and whenever he does anything that's not big IP, I'm always interested in it. But I don't know when that's coming out. I suppose it'll be some point this year.
I wanted to check out That Next Goal Wins, but I never got round to it. But I love football and that, so I should have watched it by now.
It was all right. Yeah, I didn't mind it. I thought it was all right.
I like it. Oh, God.
Yeah.
True story as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Amy Adams in this one as well.
Yeah, she is. And I think Steve Buscemi's in it as well.
Steve Buscemi and Simon Baker, who hasn't really done anything since The Mentalist ended.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I don't know. Taika Waititi seems to do better movies when he's making stuff in New Zealand than when he's doing stuff in Hollywood.
I think that was done in New Zealand, wasn't it? I think it was filmed in New Zealand because I think the one he's doing at the moment's in New Zealand or Australia.
I remember the Jojo Rabbit come out, and that was the first film I ever reviewed on my channel. It was like the second video I ever done. So I've always got like a bit of a it's a bit of a connection to that film personally.
Yeah. The
review is terrible, by the way.
Yeah. Was it your very first review you did?
Yeah, I done an introduction to my channel when I first started, like 5 years ago, and then the second video I done was a review for Jojo Rabbit. But it's not very good.
I think everyone at the start, like I went back the other day and watched one of my first videos. It doesn't feel as natural. like when you've been doing it for a long time, it just kind of comes natural, and it doesn't feel like you're doing it. It all doesn't feel like work. But when you do the first couple of videos, it's kind of, because you've not done anything like that before, it kind of feels very weird.
Yeah,
I thought
doing a
I thought
video
it
is the intro.
Mm.
If you're doing the intro to a video, it's really hard because you don't want to sound too, like, what's the word? Just boring. Like, hi, and welcome to my channel. Hi.
Yeah. The next one I've got on my list is called The Lost Bus, and it's a new film from Paul Greengrass. It stars Matthew McConaughey. I think he's the main actor in it. I don't think there's many other I think Jamie Lee Curtis has produced it, but I don't think she's in it. But it's based on a true story. I think it's about a school bus. Like it's wildfires in America, and something to do with the school bus trying to navigate through these wildfires. And I'm guessing Matthew McConaughey plays the bus driver, but I don't know. I think it's going to Apple.
If it's a Paul Greengrass film, it's going to be very difficult to see what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Shaky cam.
Shaky cam. America Ferrera, Yul Vasquez.
Yeah, it's not got a great cast other than Matthew McConaughey, but
Have you heard of that
I thought
Matthew
America
McConaughey
Ferrera
film?
was the best thing in Barbie.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that Matthew McConaughey film coming out? Everyone's raving about it. Got some people watched it at the festival, South by Southwest. Oh, I forgot the name. It's something Kings or something.
I've got it on my list. It's Rivals of the Amzaya King.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I've heard that's good.
I've heard it's just meant to be amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they might be positioning that for awards next year. I think Kurt Russell's in it as well.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one could be good as well. Yeah, I had that one on my list because, yeah, I love Matthew McConaughey, and he's not really done anything in the last few years, has he? Since The Gentleman, really.
Apparently, he went on stage and said, "I wasn't considering acting, but this script was too good. I had to come back." So,
yeah,
I'm desperate to see it. I'm looking forward to it.
Maybe I'm hoping, because obviously we got the London Film Festival in October. I'm hoping maybe they'll show it there, because I usually go to my local independent cinema, and they usually show like a handful of the main films. So I'm hopefully they show it there, because one that I'm really looking forward to seeing as well. The next one I've got on my list is a film called Fuse, which is from director David Mackenzie. I can't remember what he's done. He has done some good films in the past, I know, because I knew his name. I think he did. Did he do the remake of Pete's Dragon, or am I thinking of someone else? Maybe
That's David Lowery, I think.
is it David Lowery? Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see
what
another film from him. Actually, David Lowery.
I think he has Mother Mary. That's on my list as well. That's coming out this year with Anne Hathaway, which is kind of like a music kind of. It took a while. They got a interim agreement during the strike, so it was shot during the strike, but it took a long time for production to finish. I think it was going for over a year, but that's supposed to be. People are saying that's promising. It's A24, so that could be good as well.
What was that one called?
Which one? The David Mackenzie or the David Lowery one?
The David Mackenzie one.
Fuse. I think it's about a bomb disposal expert in London. It's got Aaron Taylor-Johnson in. Don't know who else is in it, but I saw set images, because obviously they would film in London, and it sounded interesting, so I added it to the list.
I can't find it on Letterboxd, to be honest.
I think it's a Sky film, but I think they'll probably go to cinemas before it goes to Sky.
Oh, Fuse is
with a Z.
F-U-Z-E.
Yeah.
An unexploded World War II bomb is discovered on a busy construction site in the centre of London. Chaos ensues as the military and police begin a mass evacuation against a ticking clock. What, of a World War II bomb?
Must be.
Why would they evacuate so many people if it was a World War II bomb? Aaron Taylor Johnson, Theo James, Google Mabatha Raw, Sam Worthington. Well, there we go. The quality of that film has just dropped because Sam Worthington is in it.
Yeah, it's not the best.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Could
I
be
think
alright.
Aaron
Yeah.
Taylor Johnson is in way too many things at the moment, though.
Yeah, he's in a lot. Yeah. Next one on the list is Deliver Me From Nowhere, which is the Bruce Springsteen biopic, which
Yeah.
need there be any other reason to put a film on the list? It's Bruce Springsteen and Scott
Well-
Cooper's directing it, and love all of Scott Cooper's films that I've seen.
I'll definitely be going all in. I'm a big Bruce
Yeah.
Springsteen fan. I saw him live about, was it 9 years ago at the Etihad Stadium? Great gig, yeah. And I did love, what was it? A bit of a love letter film, was it Blinded by the Light, which I thought was
Oh
great.
yeah, I love that. Yeah,
Really good, beautiful movie. So yeah, I'll definitely be going to see that.
I think Stephen Graham's playing his dad as well in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stephen Graham.
Jeremy Strong, I think, is playing his manager.
Is
He's
it
a good
coming out
actor.
this? Sorry, Ollie.
I think it's going to be an awards film, so I would imagine it's going to come out like maybe October, November, or maybe even they'll do like
Yeah.
like the same as Bob Dylan and maybe drop it early January and do it Christmas in America.
I love doing that comments just stuff on the screen.
Yeah, I'll take it off for now. But
I
yeah,
think I've only
that's-
liked one of Scott Cooper's films, which was Hostiles.
have you seen Crazy Heart?
Yeah, I wasn't that fussed on it.
You didn't like it? That's probably my favorite of his.
Out of the
Hostile.
Furnace, I thought was meh. Black
Yeah,
Mass
Out of
is
the
okay. I think it's because
Black
it's
Mass I
a better
liked,
script than it deserved. Hostiles, I thought was great, but I'm a big Western fan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Antlers
I've not
that
seen
kind
that
of-
one yet.
appeared and disappeared. I think it had Guillermo del Toro's name attached to it as a
Yeah.
producer.
I've seen that Antlers and I can't remember a damn thing about it.
Yeah,
The only thing I remember about it was it had Jesse Plemons in.
Oh, and the
Did it?
film called Pale Blue Eye, which was a Netflix movie.
oh yeah, I quite like that one. Christian Bale. Didn't think that one. That's the last film that Robert Duvall's been in, I think.
I always got Scott Cooper mixed up with Scott Derrickson.
Oh yeah, Sinister guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
too many Scots.
yeah. The next one on the list is a film called Huntington, which I've put on the list because it's Glenn Powell, and he's kind of becoming a big star. So I thought that's a film to look out for. I think Ed Harris is in it as well. Margaret Qualley, I think she's quite good. She was in The Substance, wasn't she? But I think that's like a thriller. I think. Don't
Yeah,
know too
comedy
much.
drama thriller.
Yeah,
Glenn Powell, Margaret Qualley, Ed Harris, Jessica Henwick, Topher Grace, James
decent.
Freshville. Yeah, I mean, I'm not fussed on Glenn Powell. I didn't like him in Top Gun Maverick, and I didn't really like him in Expendables 3 either. But he's in The Running Man, which has just been done by Edgar Wright, and I'm a massive Edgar Wright fan. So
Yeah.
I might have to stomach him.
Did you see Twisters?
No, because I love the original Twisters.
It's
or
really
Twister.
good.
I didn't think it needed a sequel.
It is
Really
really good. I love the original one as well, and I was really dubious about it. But it's a really fun film. The sequel, I think I've seen it a few times now.
I thought that Hitman was alright as well, where he's
Hitman,
like,
yeah, that was good. Yeah, because that was Richard Linklater, wasn't it?
yeah. But
Yeah.
he's playing like so many different personalities and that. I thought it was quite
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
He's in that, Everybody Wants Some as well.
yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. Andy.
Yeah. It was like a spiritual sequel to Dazed and Confused, wasn't it?
Yeah. I really enjoyed that film.
Yeah, I want to see that at some point.
Yeah. The next one on the list is a film called The Drama, which I don't know the director, but I know is it's got Zendaya in it and Robert Pattinson, and it's A24. So all three of those things interested me about it, but I don't know what it's going to be about. I'm guessing I'll do on I'm guessing it's going to be a drama.
Sorry, Ollie, your time went a bit there.
What was that? Sorry, Ollie.
I said I guess it's going to be a drama.
Yeah.
Oh,
It could be, yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to do one of your jokes then, Sam.
That was decent. Yeah, it's not bad. I was going to say, Jordan, as well. Like I said to him as well before the stream started, you know, like after 8 p.m, I guess it was time for some chocolate because of After 8.
Yeah.
Have I told you that one before, Jordan, that joke?
No, but I've heard it before. Might have been you. It's got to be mint flavour, though, isn't it? I bet too much chocolate today, mate.
Yeah, it's been like I've had what Easter egg die. I've got the celebrations one that was nice. I think like white. I want like a white Lindor chocolate egg or something that, you know, because that Lindor chocolate's absolutely amazing, isn't it, Ollie?
Yeah.
You mean, is that Lind? Is that the same?
Sorry, Jordan.
Is Lindor? Is that the same?
Is it similar? I think it might be similar.
Oh, all right. Sorry, I'm getting confused. Sorry.
Yeah. No. The next film I got on the list is one that I think everybody knows of anyway, but I don't think it's got a date yet. But it's Knives Out 3, which is Wake Up Dead Man. And I love the first two Knives Out films. I think both of them were in my top 5 of the year that they came out. And I think each film gets I won't say better cast, because I think the cast for the third one's not as strong as the previous two. It's got some good actors in, like Glenn Close, Josh Brolin. But then you've got actors like Mila Kunis chucked in there, and you're just a bit like, why is she in a Knives Out film? Because she's... Yeah. But it's a Knives Out film, so I'm interested in it. It's Daniel Craig.
Don't badmouth Mila Kunis. Mila Kunis is awesome.
Yeah, but I just think a film like that, I don't know whether it's like she's going to be miscast or like over because of the other actors that are in it.
Yeah, but look at the other actors that were in Glass Onion. Dave Bautista.
Yeah, but he's a really good actor though when he wants to be.
Yeah, what's her name's in it as well? Thingy Hudson.
Oh, yeah, okay, I see your point, Kate Hudson. Yeah, she's not the best.
Hudson, there we go.
Yeah, I suppose it could work. She could be really good in it. Who knows?
Also, Mila Kunis was in Black Swan. She was great in Black
Swan. Of course she was.
Yeah, I forgot
about that. Yeah. See, I always just associate her with stupid comedies. That's why. But
it's because those are the ones where she probably made more money.
Yeah.
But then she was also in the sequel to American Psycho, which was bad.
Yeah. I've not seen the original yet.
I remember it from that 70s show. Like, I used to watch that all the time. I love that show.
I was just going to say, I remember this guy in work used to ask me for film recommendations all the time. And he never really watched them when I give him recommendations. But then one day I said, oh, Black Swan's a good one. And I said, there's a bit of a scene where Mila Kunis and what's her name?
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman get it on. The next day he come in and went, I watched that film,
Oh, man.
Yeah, it could be good. Might be. I mean, I'm imagining it'll come out around Christmas time because that's when the last two came out. but I have heard that they're giving this a proper cinema theatrical release, which is shocking for Netflix. But I think they got, because the last one they kind of did a limited release, because I did get to see it in the cinema.
Awesome.
But I think this one, I think they're going to do like a proper full theatrical release, because I think that's what Daniel Craig and Ryan Johnson stipulated before they made it. So
that might be showing at the London Film Festival, because I'm pretty sure the last one was.
Yeah, I think that's probably highly likely to be one of them. Yeah.
Mm.
The next one on my list is called Honey Don't, and it's from one of the Coen brothers. Don't ask me which one. I think it's Ethan. If you loved the last one that he did, Drive Away Dolls, which I personally did not, it's the second in a linked trilogy with different characters. I think it's about a lesbian cop that goes and infiltrates a cult led by Chris Evans. So I don't know. It could be good. It might be absolutely terrible.
It's got Margaret Qualley in it. Aubrey Plaza, Chris Evans, Kristen Connolly, Billy Eichner, which kind of puts me off.
Yeah.
But it's also got Don Swayze, Patrick Swayze's brother.
Oh wow!
And Charlie Day. So if Charlie Day's in it, I'll probably watch it because I love It's Always Sunny.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The Coen brothers have I've never really got on with their movies. I've seen a few. Fargo's good.
Yeah.
No Country for Old Men's okay.
Do you like the Big Lebowski, P?
That film got overhyped to me by my friends, and when I watched it, I kind of didn't care for it. I don't know. There's something about the Coen brothers. I think it was because I didn't get into them at a specific point that I just don't really care for them.
I didn't really like The Big Lebowski when I first watched it, and then I went and watched it at the cinema last month, and I absolutely loved it. So it definitely is better on rewatch, and it's weird because I heard so many people say that movie was better on rewatch for them as well.
Yeah.
Maybe I need a rewatch of The Big Lebowski then.
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant.
The dude abides.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Ollie, have you seen The Big Lebowski, Ollie?
Oh yeah, one of my favourite films.
Great film. Just when Walter just smashes that car.
Yeah.
Oh god, that scene, man, it's so funny. And then that guy, he comes up and he absolutely loses his shit.
Yeah.
Do what I love about The Big Lebowski? You know that Walter who's just like, he doesn't care. He's just like, he's a loose cannon. He's not scared of anyone. But he's a little bit wary of that Jesus, isn't he? Like when Jesus says, "Well, fuck you," and that he doesn't say nothing, does he? Proper psychopath, isn't he?
I love it when he brings a dog to the bowling alley, and he says, "What you bring a dog for?" And he's like, He's like, why'd you bring the dog bowling? He went, "What do you mean brought it bowling? I didn't rent it shoes. He's not taking your fucking turn. I didn't buy it a fucking beer."
The dialogue in our film's class, man.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so quotable.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next one on my list is a film called Ella McKay, which is the first film from James L. Brooks in 15 years. And has a lot of his it has Albert Brooks in, who's been in a lot of his films. Jamie Lee Curtis, Woody Harrelson, I think Emma Mackey from Sex Education's in it. I think she's the lead. There's a lot of other actors in it, I can't remember, but I think it's your typical James L. Brooks film, like a heartwarming kind of drama type of thing. But yeah, again, I put it on the list because it's James L. Brooks, and I don't think he's done well. The last film wasn't great. He did that. How do you know? Was it? But I think he's done more good films than bad.
I just remember him from credits on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
The Out of Honor used to change into James L. Brooks.
Yeah. I don't know. That could be interesting. It's James L. Brooks. I mean, he did. What was that one with Helen Hunt and Jack Nicholson?
Oh, as good as it gets.
As
Yeah.
good as it gets, that's the one. But if it's got Albert Brooks in it as well, Albert Brooks is probably the best, most consistent guest star on The Simpsons anyway. So him being in a movie is always worth watching. But I don't know, that could be interesting.
I think that's out in September, I think.
Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson's always great and everything. Although Jamie Lee Curtis is in it as well. So
yeah. The next one on my list I'm interested in is called Onslaught, and it's a new film from Adam Wingard. I think it's got Dan Stevens in. It's a horror film, I think, and it's original. So that has me sold to just that, because The Guest is
it's amazing, that film, isn't it, Ollie?
Yeah. Yeah.
Still haven't seen The Guest. I've heard so many good things about it, though.
Oh, it's so good.
It's really good, Jordan. The soundtrack to that film is amazing as well.
And Your Next
I know
as well.
Like it as well. I need to watch it.
Yeah, Your Next is that's good as well.
Yeah,
I've not seen that one. Need to check that out.
The plot of Onslaught sounds exactly the same as the plot of The Guest.
Oh, really?
A mother living in a trailer park uses her skills to protect her loved ones from a threat that escaped a secret military base while mercenaries try to contain it, which is almost the exact same plot.
What if it's a sequel to The Guest?
It could very well be.
And that's just a working title.
Michael Bihn's in it as well.
Michael Biehn? Oh, wow.
Reginald Val Jolson from
from Die Hard. Yeah.
Wow.
Dan Stevens. It's interesting because Adam Wingard came from really, really low budget horror movie making. I think his first film was a film called Pop Skull, and then he did A Lonely Place to Die.
That's a good film.
To see him go from making really, really low budget horror films to making massive CGI monster movies like Godzilla X Kong is really cool. And so his stuff on the VHS series is really good as well.
Yeah.
That could be cool.
It could be good, yeah. I mean, if it is a sequel to The Guest, that has me more excited because I just love The Guest. And with the way it ended...
Dan Stevens is playing someone called German Scientist.
Maybe not then.
That's
a misdirection. That could be a misdirection.
Could be, yeah.
Until we see a trailer, we won't know if it's a sequel or not. So our hopes can stay high until we see a trailer. But yeah, that's one I'm looking forward to. And then the next one's called The Ballad of a Small Player, which is a new film from director Edward Berger, who did obviously Conclave last year and All Quiet on the Western Front. This got Colin Farrell in and Tilda Swinton. I think it's like about an expat or something in like Thailand, I want to say. Some sort of gambling thriller sort of thing. But yeah, I think Edward Berger's coming off of a good film, so hope it's another good one.
I honestly think All Quiet on the Western Front is the best war film I've ever seen.
I've still not seen it.
I must admit, it's not my go-to genre or anything. I haven't seen a lot of war films, but I was blown away by that. I thought it was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what this new one he's doing is, but I think it's a Netflix film as well, so it won't be at the cinemas. And that always has me dubious because Netflix films always range in quality. There's more bad than good Netflix films, I think. There are some definite gems out there, but
it's Colin Farrell's in it.
Yeah, I think the only other person I know that's in it's Tilda Swinton.
Jason Tobin is he's in like Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. Margaret Chung.
Is it set in Thailand or somewhere? Does it say in the
description? Macau, so it would be Singapore.
Singapore, there we go.
Rowan Joffe, writer there. So it's written by the guy who wrote 28 Weeks Later, The American with George Clooney, Brighton Rock, Before I Go to Sleep, The Informer, Tin Star TV series, and Locked In.
Bad films then,
Uh,
mainly.
28 Weeks Later is all right. The American's really good.
Yeah, I like The American. That's a good one.
But yeah, he's the son of Roland Joff.
I've heard
who
of
made
him.
The
Yeah,
Killing Fields.
yeah, yeah. Could be interesting.
Edward Berger also has the next Bourne film on his upcoming.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Bourne Dilemma.
I don't know if Matt Damon's coming back for it though, because I think they wanted Glenn Powell for it, but he turned it down.
It doesn't seem to have a cast yet.
No, I think it's literally. It must be quite early in development still.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a good director. What I've seen him do, I've quite liked. What did he do before All Quiet on the Western Front? Because I feel like I've seen films before that he's done.
He did a. What did he do? Some stuff in, I'm assuming, Germany.
Mm.
TV miniseries called Patrick Melrose. He directed some of the episodes of The Terror.
Oh yeah.
And a film called Jack.
No, I don't know that one.
No, that's another. I think that's another German film. With All My Loving.
No, not sure of that one either.
That again, that's another German movie. So his first English language film would probably be Conclave, because isn't All Quiet on the Western Front? That's in German as well, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, didn't I? Thought I'd seen stuff from him before, but obviously not.
I got him confused. I thought it was the same guy who did Limitless.
Neil Berger, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of gone off the radar, hasn't he? He doesn't really. I think the last thing he did was that horrible Chaos Walking, wasn't it?
That film was bad.
Yeah. He did do that Voyagers, though, which I've heard good things about. I've got it to watch. Like, I got the Blu-ray. I think that's got Colin Farrell in it. And I've heard good things about it, but I've not watched it yet.
Did you watch that Colin Farrell show that was on Netflix about the private detective?
Oh, on Apple, Sugar, yeah. That was really good.
Not on Netflix.
Sugar, yeah. They're doing the second series of that at the moment. That's really, if you like your neo-noir type things.
The reveal really threw me off.
It is one of those things, like now the second series, because like the first sort of, I suppose it's 6 episodes. You're like thinking one thing, you're thinking that that there's going to be like some sort of reveal, something's going to be different. But then when the reveal happens, it turns it into a completely different thing. But I'm hoping they go back to how the first series started, in more of like him being a private detective in a new case. Yeah, but that'd be interesting. The next one I've got on my list is called Hamnet, which is the new film from Chloe Zhao and has Paul Mescal and Jessie Buckley in, and is basically about, I think it's about William Shakespeare going as Will, but he's not in it too much from what I hear. It's more about his wife and his son, who's called Hamnet, and I think he died quite young. So I don't know. It's that sort of tale, but if it's
something that is definitely not on my to watch list.
If it's
the words William Shakespeare in the log line.
But if it's like Nomadland, then it could be really good. If it's not Eternals and it's more Nomadland quality, it could be really good.
She had no business directing Eternals.
No, she didn't.
and Disney
I'll be,
was
I'll be back in a
stupid,
minute,
Disney
mate.
and
Just going
Marvel.
to toilet.
No worries.
Disney and Marvel were stupid to give. And don't get me wrong, she's an Oscar-winning filmmaker,
Yeah.
but she made Nomadland, which is not a CGI Marvel movie of that size. Yeah, that's a film that I'm literally not going to have any interest in whatsoever.
Fair enough. The next one is a film called Blue Moon, which is Richard Linklater's new film with Ethan Hawke. So that'll be one for you, Sam. I think it's based on a true story about a singer or an actor in like the 50s. That's got Margaret Qualley in as well, I think. But yeah, I mean, Richard Linklater, really good director.
He's done so many films as well, Ollie, that I haven't actually seen. The ones I have seen, some of which I consider to be masterpieces, but there's so many films I need to like sit down and actually give more time to, because he's a very cool director, Richard Linklater. I think I've always compared a lot of his films to someone like Cameron Crowe, which isn't a bad thing because I do really like a lot of Cameron Crowe's films. So I think Richard Linklater, I'll go with my word and say probably Steven Soderbergh's the next director. I want to check out more of his work, and then probably Richard Linklater, definitely.
Yeah.
What was the name of the one, the Linklater one?
Blue Moon.
Blue Moon, because he's got one coming out, which is
he's also got another one coming out, which
yeah.
is a French film. I think it's called Nouvelle something.
And he's got one called Merrily We Roll Along, which sounds really interesting.
That is going, we might not see that because that is going to take about 30 years to make, I think, because it's being filmed over the course of, like he did with Boyhood, over the course of 30 years.
Yeah.
To like show the changes in the people. I think Paul Mescal's in that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Blue Moon, I think that's his direct next one. I think that might even come out really soon.
Linklater is a very odd filmmaker. He reminds me of David Gordon Green.
Yeah, he's very odd. Yeah.
Because David Gordon Green started off making indie movies like George Washington and the movie that Nicolas Cage was in, Joe.
Yeah.
But then he made things like Your Highness and Pineapple Express, and then Halloween, and then went and made another indie movie, which Richard Linklater kind of does the same thing. Like you can see he did like Slackers and Dazed and Confused, and then School of Rock, which is such an odd film, and then Bad News Bears.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did anyone watch that Apollo 10.5 that was on Netflix that they kind of used a Scanner Darkly kind of? That I really liked.
I liked that one, Ollie. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, thought it was quite good.
Yeah, it was alright. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the next one I had on my list was that David Lowery one, which is like a music thing with Anne Hathaway. I don't know anything else about that one. But yeah, I think he's a pretty good director.
Yeah.
And then we
films are... Oh, sorry, Ollie.
No, go on, Sam.
Sorry, mate. I'm just gonna say as well, a couple of the films I've seen from David Lowery I've really liked as well. So yeah, that could be promising.
Yeah. And the next one I've got on my list is called Eddington, which I think's out really soon. It's Ari Aster's new film, which has got Joaquin Phoenix, Pedro Pascal, Emma Stone. I think it's set during just after the COVID outbreak in June 2020, and it's about a small town in America, and basically the sheriff and the mayor. I think the sheriff's played by Joaquin Phoenix, and the mayor is played by Pedro Pascal, and they kind of clash. I don't know too much else. There is a teaser trailer out at the moment, but it really doesn't show anything. I don't know if I'm going to be a fan because I hated his last film, Beau Was Afraid. I thought that was awful. One of the worst films I've ever seen. I've not seen Midsummer and I've not seen Hereditary, so I don't know what I'm going to feel about it.
Hereditary and Midsummer I absolutely loved, and I was so disappointed with his last film. I loved the first hour of Beau Was Afraid, and then it just fell off
Yeah.
a cliff.
It just went too far. I think too weird.
I haven't got much hope for this, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked Beau Was Afraid, Ollie, but just a couple, like, I think a couple of films we were talking about earlier, I liked it, but there's just nothing that screams rewatchability about that movie. It's not one of these movies that just draws me in to go back and like rewatch it and stuff. But yeah, I did really like Midsummer. I think I can see obviously that's taking massive influence from the Wicker Man, which I do personally prefer, but I still really like Midsummer. Not seen Hereditary, but I've heard absolutely fantastic things about that.
Yeah. No, and then the next one on the list is called After the Hunt, which has got really good feedback so far, and that's Luca Guadagnino's new film with Julia Roberts, what's his name, Andrew Garfield, Ayo Edebiri, who's in The Bear. Really interesting premise. It sounds like something from the 90s. It's about a college professor, and I think it's another professor or a student comes to her and says that one of the other professors, played by Andrew Garfield, sexually assaulted her. So she's got to try and like work out who's telling the truth. It's like that sort of thing, like a thriller.
It's the movie Doubt.
Is the what? Sorry?
It's the movie Doubt. It's the same plot as the
same
film
sort of
Doubt.
thing, yeah.
But instead of a vicar, well, a priest and a nun, it's two college professors.
Yeah, basically. But I love Julia Roberts. She's one of my favorites. And Luca Guadagnino's winning me over. I wasn't a fan of his, but then I watched Challengers, and I loved Challengers. So I've got faith that I'm going to enjoy this next film from him.
He seems to be bringing a load of films out lately.
That was enough.
Oh, no, I've not seen that.
I'm sure he was meant to do the Scarface remake, but it doesn't seem like he's attached to it no more.
Yeah, I think that kind of collapsed. He is supposed to be doing the American Psycho remake, though, with Austin Butler.
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they like to remake everything they can make money on.
And honestly, sorry, Ollie.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, sorry, Pete. I was just going to quickly say as well, Ollie, I honestly don't know why they feel the need to remake Scarface. You know, that movie, with Al Pacino's just perfect as it is. I did really like the original from 1932, I think it was. But again, similar to the Thing, which I love the original for that, but that is actually one of the occasions where I prefer the remake of the original, but it doesn't need to be remade again. That movie is just perfect as it is Scarface, as is The Thing as well.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just completely disillusioned with modern filmmakers, because nothing that Luca Guadagnino has made has had any interest to me whatsoever. I watched Suspiria. I hated Suspiria. Ari Aster, I hated every single film that he's done. I thought Midsummer was dull, boring, just a rip-off of The Wicker Man and Kill List added together. I'm just bored by all these movies that come out that are basically done to win Oscars, and that's it. There's no more genre movies. Everything has got to have a message in it.
I'm with you on that one as well, by the way, Pete. I really didn't like the remake for Suspiria, and the original Suspiria was one of my favourite first-time watches of 2023, and I watched the remake months after watching the original first time. God, didn't it pale in comparison. It was such a chore to watch. I really didn't get on with that remake, unfortunately.
Yeah, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, so my movies are anything that, like, one of my prized films is Tank Girl from 1995. That's the type of movie I watch. Like, I'm a genre person. I have no interest in 90% of the stuff that A24 puts out. I'm not an art house person at all. I would rather watch Jason Takes Manhattan than watch Call Me by Your Name. Like those are my movies, not these things. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm the wrong person these films are advertised at.
Yeah. The next film I've got on my list is called The Smashing Machine, and it's directed by one of the Safdie brothers, and it stars The Rock and Emily Blunt. I think it's The Rock trying to go for his Oscar. He plays a wrestler called Mark Kerr, I think, in the early noughties, I think it is. But I've heard very weird, like apparently it's really weird film. From what I've heard, like of reactions to it from early screenings. But again, I think that's A24. But yeah, I'm interested because I don't think I've actually seen anything from the Safdie brothers yet. I've not watched Uncut Gems, and I've not seen Good Time either.
Good Time is great.
Oh, that's a good film, Ollie. I like that.
Yeah, I'll have to get that. But yeah, I'm just interested to see The Rock trying to do a dramatic performance because I don't know whether he can really act or not.
No, he can't.
Yeah.
If you watch, so Smashing Machine was a documentary that was made by Peter Hyams' son. What's his name? I can't remember. It was a documentary called The Smashing Machine, which was focused on this UFC fighter or this mixed martial artist called Mark Kerr, who was a white man, not the same color as Dwayne The Rock Johnson, which I thought was very odd casting. He's got a prosthetic chin and everything on it.
Yeah.
So it could be interesting. I don't rate Dwayne Johnson in serious roles. I mean, what was he in?
Pain and Gain was good.
The which one?
Pain and Gain, the Michael Bay one.
Was not a good movie. That was not a good film. No, that was Mark Wahlberg on steroids for 90 minutes. I don't know. There's something about Dwayne Johnson that, like, maybe it's because he's played the same character in every single film he's done since Fast and the Furious 5. That's kind of I'm just bored of now. I don't know. It could be intriguing. It'd be interesting to see how he carries a dramatic movie. But then it could turn out to be like Iron Claw. It could be a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, maybe.
Because no one expected Zac Efron from High School Musical to play that type of character.
Yeah. The next one on the list is called Highest to Lowest, and it's Spike Lee's new film with Denzel Washington, and it's a remake of... What's the Kurosawa film called?
High and
Low.
High and Low. Yeah, it's a loose remake of that. Obviously Americanized, and the story slightly changed from what Spike Lee said. But I think that's going to Cannes. So that could be out fairly soon, maybe in the summer. But again, that's A24. But
that
Denzel Washington.
That could be good.
Yeah.
But have you seen how they've spelt the title?
Yeah, with a 2, an actual 2.
Yeah, so it looks like Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah.
But it could be good. It's Denzel Washington. I'm not a huge Spike Lee fan because I haven't really watched a mass amount of his movies. I like The Inside Man, and I thought The Five Bloods was really good.
Yeah.
But I've never seen like Do the Right Thing and
no, I've not either.
Those earlier ones. I know he did butcher the Old Boy remake, but I don't know. It could be good. If it's Denzel, it's probably gonna be pretty good.
Yeah, hopefully. The next one's Catherine Bigelow's new film, which hasn't actually got a title yet, but it's set in the White House, and it's a thriller set over the course of a certain amount of time. I think it's the same writer that's written all of her, like, I think he wrote Detroit and The Hurt Locker.
Mark.
Yeah, it's Mark somebody, yeah. And it's got Idris Elba in it, I know that. I think Rebecca Ferguson is in it as well. And another actor, Tracy Letts, who I really like. I think he's a really good character actor.
Tracy Letts is a really good writer. He wrote
He's a good writer, yeah, as well.
Killer
Yeah,
Joe, the William
Yeah.
Friedkin film,
yeah,
and it has a massive Blu-ray collection.
yeah. I know. I saw a video. Yeah, I saw a
Yeah.
video when he was talked about it. Yeah, but yeah, anything with Catherine Bigelow, I'm interested in because her last 3 films have been top notch.
Yeah. And you've got Point Break to watch as well, Ollie.
Yeah, true. I've not seen. That's one of the very few films that she's done that I've not seen yet. I think it's that and K-19, The Widowmaker. Oh, and
Not
I think she
seen
did
that.
one called The Weight of Water as well, which I've not seen, which I think's got Sean Penn in,
Okay.
but I've not seen that one yet.
Yeah,
But
I've
She
not-
direct K-19.
yeah, she did. Yeah,
Wow, I didn't know that.
but yeah, I mean,
That's Harrison Ford doing a very odd Russian accent.
oh yeah, that's odd. That yeah.
Not a bad film though.
I think my favorite films from her are probably Near Dark and Strange Days. Love those films.
Okay. Yeah, Strange Days is one I'm intrigued to check
Yeah.
out, and I've not seen Near Dark as well, Ollie. That's another one that's been on my radar a little bit.
Yeah, Near Dark's. As you know, well, I don't know if you know. I mentioned in the group. I'm not a huge fan of vampire films. I prefer when they're mixed with comedy because I find that a lot of them can be quite slow. But Near Dark, I love Near Dark, and Bill Paxton in that is excellent.
I think I'm just gonna head off, Ollie, if you don't mind, mate. I'm up
Yeah,
at
of
6
course.
in the morning. I'm starting to
thanks
feel
for
tired now.
joining. Yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for joining, Jordan.
I'm really sorry, mate. If it was like a
That's
weekend
okay.
or a Friday, I'd stay. But
Yeah, that's
Uh,
all right. No problem at all.
yeah, I'm just gonna
Yeah,
be up
thanks.
early, and the kids are gonna wake me up all night like they usually do. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Well,
So,
yeah.
cheers for
Thanks.
having me on, mate.
No worries. Thanks for joining, Jordan.
Nice to speak to you,
Bye.
lads. See you later.
Take care, buddy.
What's the next one? Jay Kelly, which is a new Noah Baumbach film, which is Adam Sandler again going for a dramatic performance, and
Okay.
George Clooney as well's in it. I
Mhm.
think who else is in it? Jim Broadbent's in it. A few good actors were in it that I noticed, but I think it's being described as like Jerry Maguire, like in the vein of Jerry Maguire. So yeah, I think that's a Netflix film, but I wasn't a huge fan of his last film. Did you watch that one, That White Noise, on Netflix? I didn't like that one that much. Did either of you watch that?
I would struggle to get through that film.
I've
Yeah.
not watched it, Ollie.
I
Yeah.
really, really didn't know what they were going for in that film.
Yeah, no, it was boring, wasn't it?
It was almost because I think it was. I don't know if he was like a Nazi sympathizer in it or something, and we were supposed to feel
Yeah.
something for him. But I was like, I'm definitely not. Like this isn't working at all for me. This one, it was just such a weird, odd film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But could be interesting, his new one. I mean, I did quite like, is it the Meyerowitz stories, the one on Netflix with Dustin Hoffman and Adam Sandler, Ben Stiller, Emma Thompson? That was quite a good one.
I've not seen that one.
Yeah, that's quite good. Again, comedy drama, but really well done. Yeah. The next one I've got on the list, getting towards the end now, The Way of the Wind, which is Terrence Malick's new film, which I think he's been making for the last like 5 years. I think Mark Rylance is playing like Jesus in it or something. But yeah, I'm not a massive fan of Terrence Malick, but
Yeah,
I'll still
same, Ollie.
I'll still check it out because I know he's regarded as a really good director. The only one that I did quite like, but I wouldn't watch again, was that Night of Cups with Christian Bale. I did quite like that one, but I had to turn the Tree of Life off after like 20 minutes because it was just getting on my nerves. So
I couldn't get on with that film, Ollie.
I haven't
Bored me to
attempted.
tears.
Yeah, I haven't attempted any other of his films yet. I have got The Thin Red Line, but I've just not attempted any of his other films because I just really didn't get on with the Tree of Life.
Tree of Life was like watching an ITV drama and then flicking over to a nature documentary on BBC Two
Yeah.
every 20 minutes. That's what it was like. It was just weird.
Yeah. Funny story about that. I got the standard Blu-ray and CEX a few years ago, and I got home and I found out they put the Criterion discs in there. So now it's even worse because now I can't bloody get rid of the thing because I can't sell it to CEX because they won't take the discs because it's the wrong discs. So can't get rid of it now. Stuck in my collection.
The one film I'm intrigued to check out from Terrence Malick, Ollie, is Badlands. I've heard that's meant to be one of his better movies. I would like to check that out. Have you seen that one, Andy?
Yeah, that's a good film.
I've heard good things about that one.
Yeah, it's a bit like Bonnie and Clyde, a little bit, but yeah, it's good.
Not seen Bonnie and Clyde, actually. That's
no,
one
I've not
of the
either.
classics I need to watch, yeah.
Have you seen Days of Heaven? That's supposed to be quite good. Is that Richard Gere?
Richard Gere, yeah.
Yeah.
I've not seen that one.
Yeah, I've heard that's supposed to be quite good. Yeah. The next one on the list is Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, which again I think is Netflix. But that's I think is it Oscar Isaac? I think Jacob Elordi's playing the monster. I don't know who else. Can't remember. I think Christoph Waltz is in it as well. He's pretty good. But yeah, it's a Del Toro film, so definitely going to be watching that one because he's just a terrific director.
Oh, definitely, Ollie. I really enjoyed his debut film that I watched because I picked up the BFI 4K edition, that Kronos. I thought that was pretty mint, mate. I really enjoyed that. Something different as well. And what was I going to say? Oh, yes, I need to check out his version of Pinocchio still because I've heard that was brilliant.
Yeah, quite like that one. I really like. What have I seen? I saw Nightmare Alley. I really like Nightmare Alley. The Shape of Water, that was really good as well.
Yeah, I liked that one.
I haven't seen Crimson Peak. What else did he do? I'm sure I've seen both of the Hellboy films, but it's been a long time. And obviously Pan's Labyrinth I've seen, and that's excellent.
Yeah,
but I don't think I've not seen any of his older films, I don't think.
I think he did Blade 2 as well.
Yeah, he did.
I've not seen that yet. Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it because it's got his name attached to it. Be interested to see his take on Frankenstein because I think he's wanted to do it for quite a long time. So
yeah, he also did the remake for what was it? I didn't see the remake, Ollie, but I've heard it was not a bad remake. Was it that Don't Be Afraid of the Dark? He did that as well, I believe.
He produced that one.
Produced it, yeah.
Oh, produced it. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Next up is Jim Jarmusch's new film, which is called Mother, Brother, Sister, Mother, I think. Something along those lines. Which I think's got Cate Blanchett and Adam Driver in. And I think it's set each part, it's like split into 4 parts, I think, and each part's obviously around a different character set in a different place. So I think you've got one part like set in America, one part set in Ireland, and one part like set in Paris or something like that, all about these different characters. So quite like Jim Jarmusch. So I really like The Dead Don't Die, and Patterson, which I think you've seen, Sam, as well. Really like
love that film, mate. That is amazing, that film. Really good. And Jim Jarmusch, I think, is quite an underrated director. I really like the films that I've seen from him. So yeah, I'll definitely check out his new one.
Yeah. And then I'll do one more on the list because the rest have actually got dates. And that's a film called Die My Love, which is Lynn Ramsey's new film. I think she did You Were Never Really Here. But that, I think it's got Jennifer Lawrence in, Sissy Spacek, Nick Nolte.
Okay.
Some sort of, I think it's a psychological thriller of sorts. That's going to Cannes as well. So, yeah, that could be interesting as well. Like Jennifer Lawrence, I think she's done some pretty good stuff recently.
Yeah.
Did any of you guys watch that Causeway she was in? That was a really good film.
Not seen that, mate.
She played like an army vet that's just come back, and she has a bit of like PTSD. Okay. And it's about her like kind of reintegrating into society. That was quite good. She gave good performance in that.
I think it was nominated for Oscars as well. Yeah, I think Brian Tyree Henry was nominated for like Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I quite like it.
2023 nominee for Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah, it's quite a good film. Yeah, quite like that one.
Excuse me.
But yeah, those are just some films that are coming out within the next year. I think could be longer than that because some films that they finish they're in like post production for like. Well, look at Havoc. That's been in post production for years, and we keep thinking, oh, it's going to come out this year, and then waiting another year. But it's less than a week away now, just a few days away. So be looking forward to that.
It'll be on Netflix's front page for a week, and then it'll vanish into the
It'll go.
algorithm.
Nobody. That's what I hate Netflix for that. There are seriously some gems on there, but like you say, they're on there for a week, and then they'll get forgotten about forever.
That's because they don't put anything out on physical media.
No, but the things they do put out don't get forgotten, like The Irishman, Marriage Story, Roma. Everybody knows them because they're huge films and because you can get them. Plus, they were obviously big Oscar films.
Do I want a 4K release of Bright? Yeah. Do I want a Blu-ray release of Whatever Happened to Monday? Yeah, of course I do. Do I need the 4K criterion of The Irishman? No, not really. It was a good film.
Yeah.
Like
they just need to, like, what I think they need to do after a certain amount of years that it's been on there, say 5 years, they should that should be the window of exclusivity of having it just on Netflix. Same with their TV shows. And then they should release it on physical.
Yeah.
They'd make money on it because people will definitely buy some of their films physically.
Yeah.
And there's some great films I'd want.
When Netflix started, a lot of the Netflix original stuff was stuff that they'd purchased at film, not film festivals, film markets and stuff. There's a big film market in France. They do it like once a year, where people will pick up distribution for certain movies, and that's what Netflix started doing before they started putting money into their own productions. I think it was the first one was Beasts of No Nation, maybe.
I think that was their very first film,
that they financed, and I think that did get a criterion. But all of their like genre stuff, there's a lot of stuff that they've made that is crap that doesn't need like that film that Jennifer Lopez made, which was Titanfall, but
Atlas, that was awful.
Yeah, Ajax,
Atlas.
Atlas, that's the one. That was awful. That one.
I tell you, the worst film I've ever seen on Netflix was Thunder Force. Oh my god, that was a pain to sit through.
Yeah,
and I quite like Melissa McCarthy usually, but that was shit at its best.
All the streaming services do it. Like, I would love to get the Tomorrow War on Blu-ray. I'd like to get the Criminal List on Blu-ray as a TV series. And there's another one as well that they did that just hasn't. Right, Greenland again. Even though it's an Amazon original, it's never been released on Blu-ray in the UK. It's had a German release. Yeah. Disney stuff that I would like to get, and I'd like to buy
Barbarian.
Yeah, Barbarian. Barbarian was great. I want to get this, like, The Mandalorian on Blu-ray. I don't necessarily need it on 4K, but I don't need to pay 45 to 50 quid for a steelbook.
No.
Like, they did the right thing with Prey, releasing it in both 4K and on Blu-ray. Like, I picked Prey up for $9.99. I'm not going to pay more than $9.99 for Prey.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm going to have to go because I haven't had any dinner yet, and I got to work early tomorrow. So,
yeah, no worries. Thank you for joining.
Thanks for having me on. I may have talked a lot.
Yeah, it's good. It's kept the conversation going, so it's been good.
I don't get to talk about movies that often with people. It's usually just me and my camera. So it's fun talking to people about movies. And if I'm on again and I talk too much, tell me to shut up. You can.
I would never do that. But
cheers for having me on. Hopefully you'll have me back on. We'll do another quiz and I can win that one. So cheers, guys, and keep up the good work on the videos, and I will see you all soon.
Thanks for joining, Pete.
Thanks, Pete.
Bye.
Cheers. Ta-da.
I think we'll just go through the last comments, and then I think we'll call it a day. So we go into 3.5 hours now, the longest one in a while, actually. Mike Barrett, hello. He said John Glenn's Bonds were less fantastical. Not quite sure what he means by that.
Oh, it's to do with the Bond films, is it? Or...
Yeah, something to do with that, I think. Anything with Sam Rockwell in is a big yes from me. Yeah, I really like Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
That film, Ollie, what is it? The Way Back. That's really good, isn't it?
One, yeah.
Yeah, very good film, that.
It's the first film I saw him in, and I thought, everything else I've seen him in after, he's just never been as good. And it was The Green Mile.
Yeah. I keep forgetting he's in that, yeah.
He just blew me away in that.
Yeah.
Horrible and despicable. I don't even want to call him a human being, but he's just nasty in that film.
Yeah.
And he does it so well. He's just... anything he's done after that, he just hasn't been as impactful as that for me, but he's still a good actor.
Yeah, I think Mr. Right, that's a really good one. And Laggies, which I think is like called Say When over here. I think it was released differently under here, but Laggies, that's a good film.
Yeah.
Keira Knightley in that one.
Don't mind him in Iron Man 2.
Yeah, he's all right in Iron Man 2, yeah. Moon's good as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done some good films. I'm looking forward to the It prequel, Welcome to Derry, due this year. Yeah, that should be good. I think Bill Skarsgård's coming back as Pennywise, so that could be really good, hopefully.
Yeah.
What's a movie that's absolutely terrible but you really enjoy? One from me would be Ghoulies 3. Should you guys have an answer off the bat? Because I'm going to need to think on that one.
You go first, Andy.
Superman 4. I enjoy. Batman and Robin. It's terrible, but I enjoy it. Spice World, the movie. It's terrible, but I enjoy it. Yeah, they're just a few for me.
Interesting. I watched Catherine, I don't know how you pronounce her surname. She was in the film Knocked Up, Andy. Like Catherine, is it?
Oh, Catherine Heigl.
How do you pronounce her surname?
Is it Catherine Heigl?
Yeah, that's it. I watched it's a pretty pants movie, but quite enjoyable. And it was last week I watched it. That One for the Money.
I've heard of it, but I've not seen it.
Yeah, it's not a good movie, mate, but I quite enjoyed it. It was pretty bad, but it has that enjoyment level to it.
Yeah.
Whereas I watched something like, I wouldn't say Stormy Monday is a terrible movie. I would say bang average movie, but I was quite bored. Whereas this was, and technically Stormy Monday is a better movie, but One for the Money is considered a bad movie, but one I got more enjoyment from it. And I would say, similar to you, Andy, Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, I've got a massive soft spot for them films. Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, I quite enjoyed. The whole thing with God was a bit bizarre and Spock's brother, but I really enjoyed it for what it was, took it for what it was, and Rocky V is considered a bad movie, but I don't class it as a bad movie in my opinion. I say it is the black sheep of the Rocky film series, but I quite enjoy it. And I would say, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, both pants movies technically, but really, really enjoy them. What about you, Ollie?
I'd probably go for like Rat Race. I really like Rat Race,
I like
but
that. Yeah,
it's not a great film. What did you say?
I don't think that's a bad film, Rat Race.
No, yeah, I really like it.
I hate the ending. The ending's terrible, but the race itself is good.
Yeah. Valentine's Day, New Year's Eve, any of those like sort of crappy Gary Marshall films.
Big ensemble ones.
Yeah. Made in Manhattan. That's pretty bad as well. House. That's like not a really good movie, but it's one that I really like. Yeah, those are a few. I don't really. Yeah, I can't really think of any others, to be honest. Those are like the main ones that I can think. I'm just trying to look ones that I've got. But yeah, I think those are the main ones that I can think of. Have any of you seen the trailer for The Life of Chuck? I think it looks beautiful. Yeah, that looks really good. Mike Flanagan's new film.
I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that. Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, though.
It looks good. I mean, the trailer instantly, because it says from obviously legendary author Stephen King, who brought you The Shawshank Redemption, The Green Mile, Stand By Me. So that kind of immediately gives you the tone of what the film's going to be. So I think it's going to be really good. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is my favourite Coen Brothers film. I've not seen that one yet.
That's good. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. Aidan or James Film Collector. Hello, Aidan.
Hello.
Yep.
So he says Dwayne The Rock Johnson is just a roided up version of Steven Seagal.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of The Rock, to be honest, Ollie. Probably a lovely fella in real life, but him as an actor, not for me, unfortunately. And he's just done a lot of been in a lot of throwaway sort of cash grab sort of movies, hasn't he?
Yeah, there's some that I like. I quite liked the two Jumanji movies. I quite like.
Yeah, the first one of them wasn't bad. Ollie, was it Jumanji? The Mysterious
Welcome to the
Island.
Jungle. I think Jumanji.
Oh, sorry,
Welcome to the Jungle.
Sorry, yeah.
Well, Jungle on the next level. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't mind Jungle Cruise. I thought that wasn't too bad. And some of the Fast and Furious films, he's not too bad. In Central Intelligence is quite good as well. Quite like that with Kevin Hart. So that's quite funny. Hobson Shaw, I quite like that one as well. But then yeah, you got like San Andreas, and which isn't too bad, but like Rampage is just Skyscraper. Yeah. And Black Adam I wasn't a fan of. Wasn't a huge fan of the last one he did, that Red one, and Red Notice, which is a very forgettable film again on Netflix. That wasn't great. So yeah, he's not a great actor. He's done some decent stuff, but yeah, he's not the type of person, if he's in a film, he doesn't put my butt in the seat as actors like him should do. Because he's been in a lot of naff films, I think.
Yeah, I think the one film I would be willing to give a go was he in a prison drama, Ollie, in the 2000s, which was meant to be okay or decent. What was that one again? Prison drama? Was there one that came out in the 2000s that's meant to be...
Oh, Gridiron Gang. Is that what you're thinking of?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think he plays like the warden or coach or something of like the football team in the prison. I think.
Yeah.
I've not seen it, so I don't know, but I've heard of it. Yeah. I'd check that one out as well, I think. Right, I think we'll call it a day there. We're at the end of the comments, and we've been going for over 3.5 hours now, so I think it's been a really good stream again.
Been fantastic. Thanks, Ollie.
Yeah,
you're welcome. Yeah, I think the next one will try and do the winners quiz if I can get all the questions together in a week. I might wait until the following week just because I want to make sure I've got really good, solid questions. So I want to like really think on them. But yeah, obviously there'll still be a live stream at the same time next week. But might just be a chat like we did today. Just have to play it by ear and see how it goes. But yeah, thanks for joining, guys. It's been a fun one tonight.
Thanks, Ollie.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So we'll end it here. So thanks everyone for watching and for all your comments. Very much appreciated. And we'll see you again soon. Bye, guys.
Take care, guys.
See you soon.